I call this meeting of the Pahokee City Commission of Tuesday, December the 12th, 2023 to order at 6:03 p.m. May we please stand for the invocation provided by Vice Mayor Mervin, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Father God, in the name of Jesus, God, we come before you today, thanking you, God, for another day. For this is the day, God, that you have made, and we shall rejoice and be glad in it. Father God, we ask you, oh God, as we come together, God, to do the business of the city, God, we ask you, God, to give us wisdom, understanding, and knowledge, oh God. God, we ask you, oh God, that we do everything, oh God, decent and in order. Bless the city of Pahokee, bless its citizens, bless our staff. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mayor Bab,
Present.
Vice Mayor Mervin,
present.
Commissioner Bowden,
Present.
Commissioner Gonzalez,
Present.
Commissioner Perez,
Here.
City Manager,
Here.
City Attorney,
Here.
City Clerk, here.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you, Commissioners. Thank you, staff, and most importantly, thank our listening audience for being here today to participate in our regular scheduled commission meeting. At this time, we'll move along the agenda. At this time, City Manager, do we have any additions to the agenda?
Yes, sir. I have an addition. I wanted to add the Parks and Rec youth to the presentation, and then H. Kelly Marine for presentation, if we could do it ahead of Treasury Code. And I do have a deletion of Resolution 2023-74. It's a duplicate.
City Commission, having heard the agenda as presented with the add-on of the Pahokee Youth Football Team and the H. Kelly Marine Group. In addition, we have one deletion, Resolution 2023-74. Hearing that, will be your pleasure.
Hereby move that we will accept the agenda with the add-on Parks and Rec Youth, H. Kelly Marine, and with the deletion of Resolution 2023-74.
Second.
It has been moved by Vice Mayor Mervin and properly seconded by Commissioner Bowden that we'll accept our agenda as presented with the addition of the Pahokee Youth Football Team, H. Kelly Group Marine, and the deletion of the Resolution 2023-74 because of duplication.
Duplication.
It was two that had it before.
What do you mean?
Which one is explain
ARPA,
that?
it was an ARPA request that has already been approved.
This
So we-
ARPA request has been already approved
Yes,
under
ma'am.
the same resolution number?
Not under the same resolution number, but a different resolution number, but
What was the other resolution number that
Can you
it was
call the number?
previously approved?
Give me about 30 seconds.
Okay.
Resolution 2023-66, which was approved on October the 24th.
And these are the same applicants?
Yes, ma'am.
Same amount, everything?
Yes, ma'am.
Any additional questions? Hearing none, are you ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Vice Mayor Mervin,
Yes.
Commissioner Bowden,
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez,
Yes.
Commissioner Perez,
Yes.
Mayor Bab.
Yes. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you, Commissioners. Motion passed by unanimous vote. Now we'll move to public comments, public service announcement, presentation, proclamation, if any. At this time, City Clerk, do we have any comments from the public?
Yes, Ms. Luz Torres.
Hello, Commission. My name is Luz Torres, and I reside at 354 Nona Avenue. A month or so ago, I believe the beginning of November, there was a group of people with the Stop the Burn the campaign that was in front of the Public Health Department in West Palm Beach, requesting that the Health Department of West Palm Beach issue warnings regarding sugarcane burning. And so we have been advocating for the Palm Beach County Department of Health to issue public health advisories for the smoke and ash that accompany sugarcane field burning throughout the burn season. Despite multiple health studies highlighting the risks associated with sugarcane field burning, the Palm Beach County Health Department of Health has failed to heed our call. The Department of Health regularly issues public advisories when there are algae bloom breakouts. Cities in Broward County get public advisories from their fire departments on the rare occasions when sugarcane smoke impacts them. Here in the Glades, we are left to fend for ourselves throughout the harvesting season while we're impacted by smoke on a nearly daily basis with no public advisories for residents suffering from respiratory issues to make plans to protect their health and the health of their families ahead of time. We are only asking Palm Beach County to do the bare minimum in looking out for the health of our community, and we're asking you as city commissioners to do the bare minimum in looking out for the health and welfare of your constituents and support our calls for the Palm Beach County Health Department of Health to issue public health advisories for sugarcane burning. When there was a little smoke and ash, well, not a little smoke and ash, but when some fog came into our area from the weather that was being experienced in Canada, Palm Beach County Health Department was sure to issue a warning to let us know that that haze we were experiencing was from what was happening in Canada. And so I thought it's very interesting that we live here and we have sugar cane burning that happens, and they don't issue like warnings about that. I don't know if it's something that would be distributed daily in the news. It will come from the health department directly to the people who live out here in the Glades. I am not a health professional. I am not a scientist. I don't care to be one, but I just think that I don't think there's anyone here in this audience that can tell me that ash that fall from the sky is great for their breathing. I'm not saying it causes medical mishaps to folks, but I just feel that if one person complains and says that they can't breathe or it's hard to breathe when it is burning ash, that should be enough for our constituents, our commission, to look into it and just get more information. So I think my plea, to sum it up, is that everyone get as much as information they can and be as informed as they can on the medical and the need for sugarcane burning. Thank you. A need to not burn. Thank you.
Any additional comments, Card?
Yes, sir, Ms. Arma Shannon.
Just in case you haven't been to a previous commission meeting. Okay. All right, so you're aware.
Mr. Robert Love.
2638 Gateway East, West Palm Beach, Florida. Come here to Pahokee to talk about Pahokee, and y'all know what I'm gonna talk about. What y'all ain't gonna talk about. Any of y'all familiar with the audit that Rick Ross asked for? Any y'all familiar? Any y'all familiar that in the audit it says it has evidence of $2 million that's missing? And y'all, huh?
Yes, we haven't saw the evidence, but we're
I
familiar.
know
with
you ain't saw the evidence, but they must be done saw the evidence to say that.
Yeah.
They must be done saw the evidence. They would make that statement if they didn't have evidence. I ain't gonna ask Ms. Weeks no question, because I know she ain't gonna answer that. Because my question would be, how you an attorney that let the city just get robbed? You ain't protecting the citizens, you protecting somebody else. And then that dead horse, what they say, what we beating a dead horse? Everybody been hollering, we beating a dead horse where it got up. It got up, and his name Chandler. The name y'all won't call Chandler. And then I seen the post where you had done ran, Keith, and you said, the $15 million mayor. You the $15 million mayor. We can't see it in this town. It must be up in the sky if $15 million been spent right here, and nobody ain't stuck their hands in it. I read an OIG report where Chandler knocked off everybody that worked for the city and gave them all bonuses that worked for the city and didn't ask them nothing. OIG report said he didn't ask them nothing. See, one thing I know about it, if you give everybody some money, sometimes that hush money. Just don't say nothing. But people better wake up in Pahokee. I'm gonna be here to wake somebody up. I'm gonna be here every meeting to wake somebody up about what's going on in Pahokee. And just like I said, they say we've been beating a dead horse. Well, that dead horse done got up, Ms. Mervin. And he talking. Every time we go on live, there's some evidence that we have that they know that I know they have, and they have more than that. But I don't see how y'all ain't find that evidence. Y'all find that Mr. Thompson sold 2 4-wheelers for $8,000 or $9,000, and y'all filed an OIG report, but $2 million missing, and ain't nobody filed an OIG report. I'm trying to get that up here, but it can't come. And then I see y'all gonna sit up there and be quiet tonight. That's what I want y'all to do. Because I remember y'all making the statement that the people in Tallahassee was watching us, and I told y'all they wasn't watching us, they watching y'all. And y'all doing everything to show them how guilty you is. I'm glad ain't no oil on the seats tonight. The oil backfired in it. You remember y'all had oil on every seat in here for people to come in and sit down? That backfired. They must, and I'm still saying, y'all had it on the officers' seats over there too. That's guilty. Yeah, the bell went off, Lucas. The bell going off for you. I'm just warning you.
Yes.
Mr. Freeman Walker.
505 West 7th Street. Okay, concern about the road. Right down Amarillo's, north. East and west of Amarillo North, by the Church of God and going into the homes. Now, Ray Charles can see that road. Something need to be done by that. 2 cars cannot pass, period. You have to actually, one car have to actually stop to let the other car get over into the Church of God grass to get around these potholes. They don't got at the point where they need to be patched or something need to be done about it. If y'all looking for lawsuits, somebody tear up their cars or whatever, that's what's gonna happen. I know the McClure Road, somebody been out there and they passed it, put a little dirt, try to patch them holes and help out. But that's too noticeable. That's too bad. And other question, Lucas, do you know Dave Conley? You have any idea who is Dave? The guy you trying to make the deal with the 35 acre plus the 11 acres?
Don't know what you're talking about.
All I'm saying, boss, all eyes ain't closed, all ears ain't there. We got ears right, boss.
In addition to comments, cards.
Miss Lolita Kine.
Parkview Court, Lolita Cam, AKA Scratch Scratch. I'm up here today, like Mr. Robert Lord said, I think the citizens of Pahokee need to know, as citizens of this town, what's really going on with the money of the city. I want to know why it's nothing that you all say y'all was gonna fix. It's not fixed. Can somebody please answer that question? Y'all niggas stop sitting up here looking mute at me like I'm stupid. Y'all the one up here looking stupid. Because what you all sitting up here doing it's not called for. This city is regular, pitiful, rundown, and it don't make any sense the way this town is looking. I've been in this city 58 years. 58 years, born and raised in Pahokee. And there's no way in the world all this money done came through this city, through the $1 million man hand, Mr. Babb, as a mayor of 30 years. I'm trying to figure out what is you up there getting paid for? How did you let the city just go down like this as a mayor? And I want to know, as a city lawyer, how you not sit up there and do your job? That's not fair to us. When things are not going right in this city, y'all need to take it upon yourselves to make sure everything is running smoothly. To make sure this city is looking like a city again. This is absurd. I don't understand it. Will somebody please answer some of my questions or something? And stop sitting up there waiting on the bell to ring. That's why y'all in the predicament y'all in now. That dead horse has risen from the dead. Them buried bones, old buried bones that y'all had done buried, we done dug them bones up, baby. And y'all need to do better about this town. It is not fair for the citizens of the Pahokee to be going through what we are going through now in this town. For y'all to sit up there and just look at people like you're stupid. We asking questions after question, meeting after meeting, and we're not getting any answers. That's not fair to us. It's not fair. It's not fair. Do y'all think that's fair to us? Do y'all think it's fair for this city to be looking just like it's looking? No. It's not fair. The state have given y'all too much money to build this city up, and ain't nothing came up. Everything done went down. And I want to know why. Where the money at? What happened to the money that was given to y'all to fix up Pahokee? What happened to the money? What happened to the ARPA funding? Everybody that's applied for ARPA funding didn't get it. Some people didn't even get all of their money. I didn't even get the full $5,000. And I'm a business owner of this city for 31 years. Y'all need to be ashamed of y'allself. Have a nice night. But somebody going to jail.
That's it, sir.
Thank you. Okay, next we'll move into the presentations, and at this time we'll have our youth football team present. I don't know if who's going to be doing that? The department head, Mr. Lucas. Sure. You can introduce the. Okay. We'll now move to H. Kelly, Marine, for their presentation. It's okay to put them on the eyes now. No, you can put them up front. You can put them on the eyes so they can see. Okay.
Good evening, Commissioner.
Good evening.
Commission Mayor, Vice Mayor, Mr. Lucas, Attorney. We just brought some updated photos of what's going on at the Marina for you guys to see, feel, touch. Welcomes you down there. The Mayor's been down there a couple times. Mr. Lucas and Vice Mayor have seen progress. And we welcome all of you to come down anytime and see what the updates is. As for FDOC, all the decking is done. The bumpers are done, cleats are done. We're gonna have the fire suppression system checked next week by a fire company. Water is running, electric is on, lights are on. That's FDOC. DDOC, all the decking is done, the electric is done, water is done. Cleats will be done by the end of next week. Fascia boards are done that need to be changed. There's a few left to be pressure washed. All the bumpers are installed. And there's some fascia boards that were not past their lifespan, but are molded, and they'll be cleaned. EDOC, There's 204 pieces of 8-foot decking left to be installed. 60 pieces of 4-foot decking left to be installed. All the electric wire is ran, the water is in running condition, but the valve is off until we get the pedestals installed, and then the waste lines will be tested for correct vacuum suction. The north finger on the end of E-dock is in the process of being approved to be removed, and your D, E, and F docks will be fully functional in time for the end of the contract.
What date do you anticipate being done?
December 23rd, 2023.
Can I ask questions?
December 23rd. Yes.
Okay, you mentioned, something about pressure wash because it had mold. Didn't you guys said that everything was gonna be replaced?
All the decking, all the bumpers, and all of the stringers where needed were replaced. All of the fascia board where it was rotted is replaced. There was just a few boards, a few fascia boards that were not necessary to replace, that are still there, intact, in use, and fully functional.
But did you not say that nothing was gonna be, reused, that everything was gonna be brand new?
No, that was never said. Your original contract, with your original contractor stated that they were gonna flip the boards over and re-screw the boards back down. We replaced all of the decking and the stringers and subs as needed. The fascias were replaced as needed, and your project manager.
I remember you standing up there, and I wasn't here, but I saw the presentation, and he said that the other contractor was gonna remove only what was necessary, but you guys were gonna remove the entire, everything was gonna, all the decking was gonna be brand new. You even showed a piece of the board that you were gonna put, so what's changed now?
All of the decking is replaced with new. We did not say anything about pressure washing any decking. Fascia board is the board that goes on the side of the dock. There was never any intention of replacing all of the fascia board. It was replaced as necessary, and it has been replaced as necessary on the docks. There's a picture down there of an existing fascia board on that last photo, and you can see it.
And the electrical is completed, it's being worked on? What's the status of the electrical? 'Cause you said one
F-dock
of them.
is fully functional, all the lights are on, all the water is running, all of the vacuum lines are in place. The fire suppression system is the last item to be inspected, and they'll be here next week.
And can you tell me, was the electrical company that did the work?
English Electric or something like, there's a contract provided to the office, you could feel free to grab it anytime.
But wasn't it you that subcontracted the
We
electrical?
subcontracted, I don't know the name of the contractor, it's submitted to the
You don't know
office.
the name of the company?
Nope,
But you were the one that subcontracted it,
yes,
and they ran all new lines
yes,
to all the
this is a
docks?
piece of the line that was installed throughout the dock.
So that came all the way from the meter to all the docks?
It came to everywhere that was necessary that was missing.
So it was only where it was necessary or missing?
On F-dock, it was necessary for every pedestal. E-dock was every pedestal. D-dock was every pedestal.
Would you know how many footage? What's the footage?
Not off the top of my head, we don't have that written down here. It's submitted in the documents to the city manager, the linear feet. I know that since we've installed it, There's been 180 feet of wire already stolen off the dock.
Stolen.
Yes. The deck boards were unscrewed and wire was removed. Since then, there's a light tower in place, and hopefully it'll prevent any further theft from occurring.
No, sir, not from the audience at this time.
So we don't have no lights, we don't have no security. Where's the cameras that, according to, that we send the paperwork that was on the email sent to the state? Camera security that was installed. Where's that located at?
Those cameras are there. They're up towards the Marina conference room. There's cameras up over there. But as far as on the pier, we have to get some down that way. We have asked for some assistance from PBSO, and we're working with them in tandem with trying to eradicate this problem of theft.
Okay, so you guys were not up there for a couple of weeks. Is
They've
that
been up
during
there.
the
I'm sorry.
time that
I'm sorry, they've always been up there.
we've been up there on a daily
How am I
basis.
lying? I got photos.
Ma'am, you're out of order.
We have videos at different times of the day.
All right, right there. If it's after 3 o'clock, they're gone at that point.
It's been through all the day, through all times of the day.
What does it matter?
What is beyond me is that the reason why it needs the electrical wires is because
If
at
any
some
more
point
outbursts,
it was
you're gonna have
removed.
to leave. I'm asking you all to please be quiet while the commission deliberates. Thank you.
The work at the marina is at 90% completion. We are ahead of our schedule. There was some parts that have been waiting for. There's some plugs for the pedestals that needed to be ordered. Without those plugs, we can't redeck or put the pedestals back on. So if there's any lack of delay of person, we're still in compliance with the original contract, although we were extended until January 18th to fulfill our obligations.
So, so what measures have been taken so that the wire that you replaced doesn't get stolen?
The city manager, myself, and PBSO had a meeting at the dock on Friday afternoon at around 2 o'clock. And PBSO said that they were gonna address the issue of pilferage at the marina. I'm not a security company. I don't secure the dock.
During what time when did you notice that the wire had been stolen or taken or removed?
On Monday of last week.
Not yesterday, but last week,
A
Monday.
week from Monday.
And was that wire installed or was that wire?
All of the wires was installed as of last Friday before that Monday. On that Monday, we needed to install lugs for the pedestals, and notice that 2 pedestal runs were missing. That were installed already.
So as of December 23rd, what's gonna be the status of the docks? Is that gonna have the pump out and the potable water and everything, electrical,
I don't know if you were
the
here for the
docks?
beginning of the meeting when I said decking is done, water is done, pump out is done, cleats are done, bumpers are done, fire extinguishers will be inspected next week. There's 204 pieces of decking to be laid after the pedestals are installed. There's nothing here that will not prevent the boat from being able to dock in that marina and using all of the services that are needed to be provided. we are above and beyond what our obligations were to you guys. We did the plumbing for free. We checked out all the pump outs. We hired a pump out company and paid them out of our contracted price. The pilferage of the wire is being replaced at our expense. And we welcome you to dock your
What
boat
was
down
the
at that
status
marina.
of the pump out? What needed,
There
what
was
else
a
did it take?
motor on top of one of the pumps at the vacuum end that was seized from non-use. It was replaced with a new pump, and it's working.
That's all that was needed for the pump outs for all the docks?
Yes.
Okay.
I have a question. Can you please state your name?
Charles DeVito.
I'm sorry?
Charles DeVito.
Charles DeVion. Who's your friend that you have with you with a white cap? Can you please step up to the podium?
Oh, it's David Connolly.
Yeah, I want him to come to the mic to say who he is.
David Collins.
David Conley. What's your ties with H. Kelly?
I'm his consultant.
Just a consultant.
Help him on the project.
Okay, because a while back, the commission received an email from you telling us to sign a contract, and the city manager told us not to respond to it. So if you're just a consultant, why would you tell us to respond to that email?
It's all bit,
You're just a consultant.
It has absolutely
It has nothing to do
what
with mine.
the current contract.
Nah, there's a connection. There's a connection here. There's a connection here.
What's the connection?
How long have you known Mr. Lucas?
This is complete nonsense.
How long have you known Mr.
This
Lucas?
is ridiculous.
No, it's ridiculous, but somehow
Whether
he
it's
got the
ridiculous
contract.
or
He got the
not,
contract to
he's
fix the
The
docks.
commissioner asks you a question, and if it's ridiculous or not, give an answer.
First of all, Ms. Marina, I never interrupt you. How old are you? You should know better than that.
This is questions about the marina, not about me.
No, but there is a connection.
Okay,
There is a connection.
Commissioners, we have a limit on questioning of 2 minutes, and we're gonna
No,
move on.
I got something to say about that questioning.
It's in the
Because
policy.
no, I checked the Florida statute, and you all are wrong, okay? And I got it written down, and I'm gonna state it. And so far, I am not gonna honor that 2 minutes. You take me to the Supreme Court or wherever you wanna take me, we'll take it
Okay.
there.
Sir,
As commissioners, we do not have the
sir,
authority
we
to limit
appreciate
ourselves.
your update. Thank you. We're gonna move on.
Let it be known that they refuse to answer the question and that the city
Commissioner
mayor
Perez, you out of order at this
yeah,
time.
the city mayor has decided that the time is up. They don't have to answer, even though he's connected to H. Kelly and the
Right.
commissioner is asking him. He has not taken 2 minutes to ask questions.
Right.
Each one of us should be
You have
concerned
taken 2
where he's
minutes, though.
going.
All right, I'm gonna continue.
He's
I'm gonna
got the
continue.
right,
I'm gonna
And you
continue.
all should be interested in what he's got to say.
I'ma continue.
If you really care about this community, let it
You out of
happen.
order,
I'm still-
Yes, so
No,
what
no.
are you gonna do about
It's
it? I'm
okay.
out of
Hey,
order.
hold on.
If you continue to be out of order,
What are you gonna
we're
do
gonna
about it?
ask the PBS soldiers to
And
put you
they're
out.
not gonna
Can't do
remove
that.
me.
I already checked that out too. Mayor, with all due respect, I'm gonna continue my question. Mr. Dave Connolly,
You're out of order, sir.
I'll ask you those questions. You
I'm
yes
just,
or no.
we're trying to get order in
I
this
think
court.
citizens also should be able to ask
right.
a few questions.
Mr. Connolly.
This is not a town hall meeting. This is a commission
No,
meeting.
but this is very
It's the
concerning. It's very
commissioner's
concerning. It's very
responsibility.
concerning. It's very concerning. He's connected with H. Kelly, got the contract, yet he's after the city property. So I wanna know,
So are the questions coming from you or maybe
I
they're
have
coming
text
from-
messages.
Maybe they're coming from
I have text
your-
messages from you.
From Robert Lambert.
No, I have text
They're
messages
not
coming from you.
Robert Lambert, like
No,
all
it's
his
coming from you,
questions?
and they've been reported already.
Okay. All your questions come from Robert Lambert and
No,
hers.
no, I'll submit my phone, I will
Sir.
submit my phone to the FBI's any time
And
of
who do
day.
you speak
And
to?
look at all
Sir.
my text messages.
Who do you
They come
Appreciate your
from you.
update. You can
Keep an,
dismiss.
all I gotta say is keep an eye
Thank
on
you.
the city property.
That is
Dave-
why
that's
we're
Dave
discussing
Conley
the
right there.
policy tonight. So tie the ends. We're trying to expose it so that you
Nobody
guys
wants to
have your
listen.
eyes
Nobody listen.
open and you could see what's getting ready to happen.
Is the youth football team ready? Thank you.
Guys, just for a moment, can we at least get it together for our children and let them do their thing and then get back to that other stuff? Let's at least straighten up for our children when they come in. Can we do that? They're about to come in.
It is for our children that we're doing this.
We're
not just here taking pictures.
I'm just asking that we kind of tighten up for our kids, just for a moment. That's it.
Any coaches?
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. Come say what y'all.
How many trophies did y'all
What y'all
win?
win and come talk to somebody.
Hey, Ty, is Sonic here? Sonic, my cousin, Sonic. Sonic. No, Sonic, I can't remember his real name. Stacy, AJ's name.
So who's presenting? Ty, is it you or Greg? Presenting.
First, my name is Greg Williams. I'm the Director of Parks and Recs. I have my assistant with me, Cedric Clavan. I have my President, Carlos Lyman. I have my Vice President, Casey Hopkins. And I have my athletic coordinator, I don't see him yet, Ronald Osborne. First, I personally want to give God some thanks for what he has allowed us to accomplish. The next person I would want to thank is my boss, Mr. Rodney Lucas, and my commissioners, Mayor Babs and Vice Mayor Mervin, Commissioner Sarah, Commissioner Bolden, Commissioner Gonzalez. This could not have happened if it wasn't for all of you guys' support. I want to say this. We have 3 teams that won the Super Bowl this year. But just for the record, we had 5 teams. All 5 teams went undefeated this year. All 5. So I want to commend them. One of the teams lost in the semifinals. They lost the game before the Super Bowl, and our other team, technicality, they forfeited their season through technicality. So we want to thank God for everything that He allowed us to do this year. I started this year off with my president, Carlos, and I told him we want to set a standard. We want to set a standard not just in the Glades, not just in Palm Beach County, but throughout the state of Florida. And I think we accomplished that by allowing all 5 teams to go undefeated and 3 to make it to the Super Bowl and win it. All right? And just for a side note, not only did we win all year, but we did it in style. Everywhere we went, we represented the city of Pahokee well. So well that all the neighboring cities bringing their kids to Pahokee to be a part of this program. We got kids represented here from Clewiston, South Bay, Belglade, Okeechobee, Wellington, Loxahatchee, and last but not least, the city of Pahokee. And I'm proud to be a part of this. In another world, I'm a preacher, so I'm gonna put this mic down.
Please.
And I'm gonna ask my assistant director, Mr. Cedric, to come and say a few words. And then my president, Mr. Carlos, to greet us.
Good afternoon, Cedric Claravan, assistant director of Parks and Rec, also head football coach for 14U, offensive coordinator for 12U. This year has been special to us, not only because we won, but because this year was good. I mean, for me, it's more than coaching. It's more than football with me. Any one of these kids need me on the outside of football, I'm there. I'm to the school all the time. They're a part of my life from the time they come to the city. So if you don't want your child chastised, don't send them to me. I'm here to be a role model, first and foremost, and then I'll be their coach. Then we can talk about football, but I want your child to know how to act when they leave here. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we at as a staff. I coached him when he came through here, and I'm proud to say, when he got grown, I started looking up to him. I was like, oh my God, this man here, he motivated me to do the right things in life. So I'm proud of what we have accomplished here with these kids and the staff that we've built, and we only gonna get better.
Good evening. I'm Carlos Lamis. Like I said, I'm the president of the program, 12U head coach, defensive coordinator, 14U. We want to thank everyone who had a part in this. It wasn't about any of us adults, but it was about the entire community. We love these kids. We try to give these kids a great example. So that's why I hold myself accountable for my actions. I show them what I would want them to model in their future. So we thank y'all for trusting us with your kids. And it's only gonna get better from here, man. I mean, we have big plans in the future, starting now, you know, so it start with these guys and these women up front, and then us, we're following. So we thank y'all for y'all support and everything that you guys gave us this year. They didn't hassle us at all this year. I'm not into the politics of Pahokee, but when it came to this program, everything that we came up there to the city hall for, they granted it to us. So thank you to you guys, and continue to support us, and we'll continue to push this city and the image of this city in the right direction. So thank you.
My Vice President? Okay, so the last word I want to leave with not just the team and the coaches and not just those on the diocese, but our community. And I told my president, I only got 4 words about this season at the end of this season. Let's run it back. So I need your support so we can run this back. We want to come back next year and have all 5 teams standing here representing the city of Pahokee. God bless you. I appreciate all you guys. I appreciate those that stood with me. This couldn't have happened without all us coming together. I thank God for the parents, the team moms, everybody in their respectable places that played a part in what these kids accomplished this year.
Very good.
Okay, the cheerleaders also. Yeah, the room too small for our cheerleaders. Hey, by the way, footnote, next Saturday, all these teams will be celebrated and honored at City Place. They carving out a space in City Place, they blocking the street, and they want to represent and honor our kids at City Place. If you're not doing nothing, next Saturday, the 23rd, 1 o'clock through 4 p.m., please come out and let's celebrate our youth at City Place.
Blue Devils.
They don't know that one.
And then y'all, you gotta teach them that. This is the future.
Good job, boys. Give me some. Good job. Yeah, Taryn, look, they taking your pictures. Look. Now turn around, they taking your pictures.
We just stand up right here. Yeah, I'm standing up there so I can, these are small. Okay.
And thanks once again. And by the way, all these players got Super Bowl rings. I told them to bring them tonight, but they don't have. Oh,
Somebody got it?
Show that ring. Show that ring.
Let me see the ring.
So they'll be flashing them rings at City Place next week.
Golly.
Hey guys, that ring is bigger than y'all are.
All right, thank you.
Thank
For
you.
your support.
I'm proud of y'all. Keep it up.
Great job, guys. Great job.
We would continue with our presentation. We have 4 additional presentations. At this time, I have our city manager introduce each of these 4, starting with Treasure Coast Regional Planning Council. Mr. Lucas, if you would.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. Coming up is Ms. Stephanie, who represents Treasury Coast Regional Planning Council and will be our point of contact for the evaluation and appraisal review called the EAR and the updating the city's comprehensive plan. Ms. Stephanie.
Thank you. Thank you,
You're
Mr.
welcome.
Lucas. Mayor, Commissioners, I'm pleased to be here tonight. I don't know how I followed that, but I'll do my best because that's going to keep me going all week. So, so the evaluation appraisal report. Next one, please. First of all, let me tell you who I am. I'm with the Treasure Coast Regional Planning Council. My name is Stephanie Height. I'm the Economic Development and Intergovernmental Programs Director. The Regional Planning Council, we are one of 10. Every county in the state belongs to a Regional Planning Council. Our region covers Palm Beach County, Martin, St. Lucie, and Indian River County. We have 52 municipalities within our region, 2.1 million people, 3,700 square miles. So what we do is we provide technical assistance to those local governments, those counties and municipalities within our region where you need them. Sometimes you need technical assistance. You don't have that kind of assistance maybe on your staffs, or we're just here to help supplement and to serve the region. Next slide, please. So our primary focus areas are economic development, regional convening. That means sometimes we sit with cities and counties, or maybe we sit with the water management district or other agencies, and we help to convene different parties to help do resolution. We do transportation and land use planning. We also do city planning. We are the only regional planning council in the state that does actually urban design. So we can do urban design, we go in, we can do master plans, cities, roads, things like that. We do charrettes, a lot of community outreach, a lot of public work with the public. The community development and strategic planning, what we're talking about tonight is the comprehensive plan. That falls under that. That's your vision for your city. And then we also do emergency preparedness. So we train your first responders. We train police, fire, hazmat. So we also offer that service within our communities. And then also just some work we've done in Pahokee is brownfields. So we do have a brownfields program, so we have done some work here in the community. Next slide, please. So the comprehensive plan. So this EAR is what they call the Evaluation and Appraisal Review, is called the EAR. It's statutorily required that a city updates its comprehensive plan. And some people may say, well, what is the comprehensive plan? Well, the comprehensive plan is your vision, it's your plan for your city, and it outlines those things that you, things you want to do, but how do you do them, and what you need to do and when you do them is outlined within this. And usually within a comprehensive plan, you have goals, objectives, and policies that are contained within different elements. So next slide, please. So the elements within the comprehensive plan, the state does require certain elements. So all of those in the top there, they are all required elements. I have looked at your updated plan from 2009. It has all of those elements except one, the private property rights element, which just came out 2 years ago. So that's one of the things we will be updating in your plan. And then also public school facilities, that's an element that was mandatory and now it is optional. So we'll do something that we can link that back to how your public school facilities are coordinated through the county. Next slide, please. So the EAR process and objectives. There's two things that the EAR process does. Number one, you want to update any of those legislative changes that have happened since the last time that you have done your updates. So since 2009, we're going to go back and look and see what has changed and what needs to be done to update the plan. It's also issues of concern. What has happened locally, so either in the city of Pahokee, and locally we also mean things like in Palm Beach County or in the Glades region. What has happened that needs to be built into that plan? What has changed, and maybe that way we form the plan to be more with our current concerns. And then all of this needs to be done through a public outreach process. So that's me here tonight explaining it to you. I'll be reaching out to each of you elected officials to do a one-on-one to get your things. I've already done a couple interviews with people in the public, so if anybody's interested, I have business cards. If anybody'd like to talk, I'm more than happy to talk to everybody. So that's it. So what happens is we notified the state on June 27th that the city did plan to update its comprehensive plan, so we have 1 year from that date to get it completed. So hard at work. Next slide, please. So the legislative consistency. This isn't something, this is what I'm going to do for you. This is, it can be very cumbersome, but I'm going to review those statutes. I'm going to compare what's happening in those statutes with your comprehensive plan to make sure that there's consistency there. And identify areas, like I said, the property element, the property rights element, that needs to be added in. So that's one of the things that we'll put in. Also, updating data. The state requires that you do a 10-year and a 20-year planning horizon. So a lot of that data in there is what's going to drive that. So we're going to make sure that the data is current, your population data, infrastructure needs, all of that stuff. We're going to make sure that that gets updated as well. And then also the maps that are required. So that's your land use maps, your zoning maps, transportation maps, things like that. We're going to go ahead and we're going to update those as well to be current. And then I will go through each of your current goals, objectives, and policies and make, like, strike through, underline recommendations for what needs to be edited, added, or deleted. That's no longer relevant. Next slide, please. So in 2023, there were two big things that we're really going to have to look at. That is going to have to do. One is the Live Local Act. I don't know if you've heard about that. So housing, affordable housing is very hot issue right now all around the state. So the Live Local Act is something that we're going to incorporate and make sure that the comprehensive plan covers. Now, this is one of those things I can walk in one room and everybody hates it. I walk in the next room, everybody loves it. So it does do some preemption for local governments and tells you some of the things you must do within your zoning and your regulations. But then it also provided a lot more funding to those housing programs that do help with the affordable housing. So there's good and bad and everything, I guess. So then the septic tank to sewer, that's just one of those environmental things where the FDP's making sure that we're trying to move ourselves towards being better stewards of the environment. with our sewage. Next slide, please. So community input, that's the thing. I'm out looking to speak to anybody I can. So it's important that we hear from the citizens, elected officials, city staff. Everyone needs to be a part of this process. And then it's not just about people, it's the places. Be thinking about what do you do with your unique things that make Pahokee unique. Your high school, what's gonna happen there, the marina, the city itself, just, you know, what makes Pahokee unique, what makes your plan unique to what you need and what you envision for yourselves. Next slide, please. So the next steps, I'm gonna get input from everybody. Like I said, I wanna interview anybody and everybody that wants to be interviewed to get information. We do have a survey that we're going to be launching. I'm just getting final approval on that. I'll get that launched. There'll be QR codes. It'll be, I'll leave paper copies at City Hall, so if people don't have the means to do it electronically, they can do it, then they can scan it over to me and I'll put in the data. So we're gonna launch that survey for everyone. That's for all stakeholders in the community. Then in the meanwhile, I'm gonna start gathering some of that data, that, you know, going through the census information, all of that, getting that put together. Get our GS folks to start working on creating those new maps, because that's a very technical thing that not all of us know how to do. And then I'll start the review of the plan. And I do want to say on January 18th, there'll be a town hall meeting. Jongelin's going to be, Miss Adams, where'd she go? She's going to be getting that information out for that. So we will be having another time where everybody can give their input into this plan. So that's all I have. If you have any questions or concerns.
Do you have the time for the town hall?
I think she said it was going to be 6 o'clock. I'm not sure, but I'll make sure that she gets that information to you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
So the Treasure Coast, is that like an entity that provides all these kind of services? You're not part of any county or
No,
or
we're
the
not.
state?
No, we're quasi-governmental. We're created by the state, so we live in the Florida statutes, created the regional planning councils. I think that the state looks at it as a way of when you want to get information out, when you want to do things, maybe you have bridge loans coming out from a disaster, something happening. I think it's easier for them to reach out to 10 groups and then us help to disseminate and coordinate all of that than it is to reach out to 67 different counties or 420 some odd municipalities. So I think that was the intent of regional planning councils when they were created, to be those kind of regional entities that help with things and that they can get information to and funnel information through.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, well, thank you for your time. Again, my information's there. I have business cards. Mr. Lucas knows how to get a hold of me, so I appreciate you reaching out to me, or we will be reaching out to you. So, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Could I have one of the cards, please? Thank you.
Check when you hand them out to everyone.
Yes.
Thank you.
I always say I'm available on my cell phone from 8 to 8. Not after 8 o'clock. Get me in trouble with my husband. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, Mayor, will be Aaron Taylor. He's ARC Development. He represents a project that's going to be a multifamily project right across from PNC Bank where the tree is at. Our tree lies on that site for 40 units.
Hi, Aaron Taylor, ARC Development. I have a slight request, if it's okay for the board. I'm not sure if I can do this based on the protocol. I know you guys have a certain time limit, but there's something that I'd like to discuss pertaining to the project, and I'll open it up to questions, but then I have a brief kind of discussion I'd like to have with the board and the entire city, if that's okay. But I promise I'll try to keep it as brief as possible, if that's all right.
That would be fine.
I'm good.
Excuse me. Make sure, okay, that is the right one. All right. Make sure what's in there. Okay, once again, Aaron Taylor, Arc Development Global, just here to discuss the One North Lake project. It's going to be, God willing, right in the center of downtown. Most of you are aware that this project has kind of been in the works for some time, many, many years even before I got involved. Most of you know that the property was owned by Donya Crawfords, but she herself could not pull this project off. So in coordination with the Department of Economic Sustainability, now called the Department of Housing and Economic Development, they work with a lot of different developers to do affordable housing projects across the county in different municipalities. And one of the gentlemen, his name is Bill Lowenstein. Unfortunately, he passed away last year, but two of the investors that he brought in, Chuck Lesnick and a gentleman named Leonard Schwartz, I've been developing multifamily projects for the last 40 years. And so they decided to basically partner with her to try to get a project done out here. She didn't have the bandwidth to pull that off by herself. So I'm going to go through the project details and just kind of open up the floor to any questions you all may have. And after those questions, I just want to kind of address the board and the city, the people of the city, if that's okay. So as you know, the project is right in the center of downtown at the intersection of North Lake Avenue and Main Street. This falls within your core zoning district. It's also a core future land use, which is commercial, office, residential, and entertainment, which basically means that all of those uses, either individually or collectively, can go in that core district. Next slide, please. The project will be a 3-story, 40-unit multifamily residential development. Can you hear me okay? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, please tell me. How about now? All right. Okay. This is a 3-story, 40-unit multifamily residential development with some pedestrian amenities. That slide is just to kind of give you an indication of what it will look like when it's done. And this is not a pretty picture. This is actually just based on the construction documents. This has been in the process for a while. We were working with Cap Government for quite some time. We were also working with the previous city manager, and then Mr. Lucas and his staff for the last year and 3 months to rework this site to get it to fit within the constraints of your code. Even with that, we had other issues with FDOT, where we were trying to access the property from 1 North Lake Avenue, because it seemed to be the most logical place for people coming in and out of the Marina area. But that's actually an FDOT road, 1 North Lake is, and they did not allow us to have access from that road, so we had to reorient the access to Barack Obama Boulevard, which is the street between PNC Bank and the south portion of the property. We did do so, and we eventually got approval from FDOT for that entrance. We also got approval from water utilities, as I mentioned, Cap Government. Palm Beach County TPS approved the traffic trip generation for this area. If you can go to the next slide, please. I don't know why this site plan came out so distorted, but for those of you that have a copy of it, on the next slide, please. Right there. You can't see that very clear, but I have for those of you that got the printout, that's a very clear picture. If you look at the right side of the page, it tells all the tabular data that's in accordance with your code, from parking to FARs, you name it. On the next slide, it's just showing the parking ratio and the fact that we're actually a little bit more than what your code requires for parking, because your code also allows for on-street parking, which is pretty common for infill redevelopment projects where you have walkable areas and the streets are only 40 foot wide.
Can you explain that?
Yeah, sure. So the unit type, there's 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms. The quantity is how many of each type of unit. And then the parking ratios, which your code says we have to provide for parking for each type of unit.
So 1 3/4 parking space per 1 bedroom,
Yes, 1.75, that's what your code requires.
okay?
And
2 parking spaces for a 2-bedroom
yes,
and 2 for a 3-bedroom,
yes, ma'am.
okay?
So,
How many guest parking spaces you required to have?
you're required to have 4. This is assuming
Oh,
that,
just 4 total for
Yes.
the entire unit?
yes.
Okay.
Any more questions on the parking ratio based on the code? Okay. The next page is just the landscape plan and amenities. There's not a lot of space on this site, so we tried to add a little bit of green space. There was some talk between the previous city manager and staff that at this corner, which is right at the intersection of 1 North Lake and Main Street, to put some sort of either fountain or feature, because that's where people are gonna see coming around that area straight up into the dock. Like, they're gonna see that area first, so either we leave it as open, passive rec, or we're willing to take the city's advice on what you may wanna see in that area. The other one is actually gonna have a pedestrian amenity for children, which, I mean, not just children, but there's some benches and there's some mounds and a little splash park for kids to play in. They opted out of a play equipment, I guess because of the liability issue with insurance. So that seemed to be a safer idea. That's on the next page, I believe, if you can change that slide. No, that's just showing the landscape buffer. You can submit that, there it is. So this is what we're proposing for the passive rec area to the east of the building. But we are open to suggestions because your code doesn't really have a requirement for exactly the type of amenities that have to be provided. This is a public-private partnership with HUD and DES. HUD required us to provide these type of amenities, but this isn't all we have to provide. So if you have a suggestion for that, we're open to that as long as it doesn't increase insurance liability. Let me see. Landscape. Can you go forward? This is just reiterating the fact that we're required to do a traffic analysis from an engineer, and it's required. You guys don't have a TPS requirement here, but Palm Beach County does. So we had to submit our traffic study to Palm Beach County Traffic, and we did get that letter approved nearly 9 months ago. And then just a brief conclusion, and I'll open it up to the questions to the board and or the public if they have any. The total project estimated right now is about $11 to $12 million. We've redesigned this site, I can't count how many times over the last 2 years to get it to this point. And we've met basically all the requirements of your code, and we've tried to incorporate some pedestrian amenities that we thought were advantageous to the community. It's our hope that when this thing is built, it's a catalyst to bring and stimulate other investors to come to this area. We did receive FDOT approval, as I mentioned. CAB government approval we also received, as I mentioned, and we are about done with the construction documents already. So the goal is that this is something that's a staple that just helps to spur other development in the area. And I'll open it up to any questions, and then if I can just have a brief conversation with the board and the community. Thank you.
When do you predict starting date?
As soon as we can get the construction documents in and reviewed. I don't know what CAP government's timeline is, but we're like maybe a week out from submitting the documents. And CAP government's your reviewer for that too.
So as soon as they review it, you're ready for groundbreaking?
Yes. We did reach out to Palm Beach County for additional funds through a NOFA, which I mentioned at the ZAP board. But there's a new, you guys might not be aware, but there's a new bond funding coming out. There's another RFP coming out that doesn't have as many restrictions, and we can actually request more money. So
isn't it out already?
No, they approved the allocation of the bond,
Oh.
but the RFP for that bond won't come out until the first or second week of January. So if you look at some of the limitations I put in the back of that presentation on my justification statement, if we get the additional funding, those will not apply anymore. It'll be a different funding pool, but from the same people, Department of Housing and Economic Sustainability.
Once you start, what would be the timeline for the project?
Realistically,
Yeah.
depending on if they have to do both demucking and pilings, it can be anywhere from 15 to 18 months from the time you put shovel in the dirt to completion.
So, because there used to be, previously there used to be a building there. It has been pre-construction there.
True. You have two things. When you do percolation tests in your soil bearings and compaction, you guys do have muck, but the load bearing on that site's a lot different for a 4-story building than,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly, it was like a car dealership or something. It was like
Yeah.
a dome structure. To be able to handle the weight of basically 45,000 square feet of concrete is a lot different than that. So the site has to be prepared to that, and that's actually kind of expensive and takes a while.
Have you all already did a cost analysis of the rental unit cost per
Well,
unit?
like everything, we can't anticipate what construction costs will be 2 years from now or a year from now to finish. But we did, through the NOFA program, where the county set limitations where we can't actually charge over a certain amount of rents. It's based on the county's established AMIs. And that AMI, they publish it every year. We can only provide, I think I put in the justification statement, for certain units, we can only provide, I think it's 60 to 80% AMI, and then for other ones, we can do 80 to 100% AMI. But the reality is that we can only charge what the market can bear here in Pahokee. There's no comps in this area for something of this size. So the goal is to just get people in, get them to love it, and either get current landowners here who, not to be funny, you have some people who are slumlords, just like in Belglade, to either, one, update their property or lose their tenants. I mean, some of them are getting money from the state for tenants and they're not taking care of their property. Once they start losing those tenants and that money goes out, they got two options: either fall behind or update their property. I've never thought that you should have to move all the way to Wellington to be in quality housing, so. Anybody else on the board have questions?
As far as, will you guys be hiring a property management company or?
Yeah, these guys are out of that's why I'm here. These guys are typically out of New York, New Jersey. They just do a lot of work here in Florida, and they're in and out. So they will have a property manager. Actually, HUD requires it. So they couldn't get out of that anyway.
I only have one question.
Yes, sir.
The entrance right there that's gonna be on the south side. Is that definite, or is that just an idea, more or less?
No, we originally wanted it off of 1 North Lake, but FDOT would not allow us to have it. So we had to move it to the south. That wasn't our choice.
Yeah, 'cause that is on North Lake. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
It's
No,
on
I'm
North
sorry.
Lake. It's on North Lake.
Can I come look at
Sure.
I didn't print out enough for myself.
Yeah, this is on North Lake.
No.
The
So
light's
the
right here.
rendering, no, look at the site plan. We changed this when this rendering was done, so the architect never updated. That's.
Yeah, that's a lot better. Because of traffic and stuff.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you share with the community also how many apartments are set aside for, we talked about an example, can you share that with them as well?
Yes. Sir, may I borrow your packet here? I didn't print one for myself. I have it here in the back. Here we go. I think I found it. Okay, so the home funds had a limitation that we had to provide 3 units at 50% AMI, 1 unit at 65% AMI, and another unit at 65% AMI. So there are let's see, hold on. Unit quality 3, 4, so there are 8 total units that basically are half the AMI that we're allowed to charge because of the NOFA funds and the limitations. And that is 3 one-bedrooms, it is 1 one-bedroom, and it is 4 two-bedrooms. So it's 8 units total.
What's the rent for the 1, 2, and 3 bedroom? What's the rent?
Well, hold on. Market-wise, I don't know, but their limitations is we cannot charge more than 900, 1,100, and 1,400. But once again, if the market doesn't bear this, we can't charge it. You understand what I'm saying? Like, the developers understand they have 2 options when it comes to this. Either they can rent it out. You just spent $10 million to build a building. Either you can rent it out and get income to sustain it, or have it empty. They're going to choose to have people in it. And in time, the goal is the more opportunities people have, which I'll address second, and the more quality people housing they have and they can get into it and make it their home, it'll start slowly raising the standard and slowly raising the rent that people can afford. But it's going to be a slow process. It can't happen all at once. Yes, sir.
Before I left, I was going to ask a question because I heard you made a statement that y'all were still looking for funding. Do y'all have all the funding for this project, or y'all still looking for funding?
No, as of right now, we qualified for the NOFA funds, but their restrictions for like 30, 40 years make it really difficult, and the interest rate was higher. The new funding amount that's coming out is anywhere from like 0 to 3%, which we can possibly negotiate if we qualify. So if we can get cheaper funds, it means we can actually throw more amenities either into the development or have a reserve fund to make sure that we can sustain in times if we don't have full rents. There are things that you can do, but the funding is there.
But I'm saying, do you have it now?
No.
No, you don't have it. So
No, hold on. No, actually, let me rephrase this. The developers have the money to develop it themselves. Let's get that straight.
Okay.
But if they can choose to, they're going to use the money that's available to them through the county.
Yes.
So they don't need the county to develop this, but they would use the government's money to do so. So does that make sense?
Waiting on the county to see what the county do for it.
Only for part of it. We were requesting $2.4 million out of the $10 million project. The rest of it's on them.
I have a quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
You said that it's gonna be 40 units.
Yes.
My question is, why 66 two-bedrooms? Cause you got 7 one-bedroom, 66 two-bedrooms, 4
Where do you see the
three-bedrooms.
66?
You had up there on the slide.
Can you go back to that?
Right there.
No. That's the parking required. We only have 40 units total. That's just for the parking.
I have another question.
Yes, ma'am.
When you said on the south side for the parking and the going in and out development,
Yes.
was he talking about the side in front of the bank, Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes.
Sorry?
You talk about.
Yeah, that's North Lake, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, but you have residential houses there, you have the preparatory school, you have the school and everything there.
Right.
That's the entrance that he's talking about?
Yeah, that's where they moved it to.
But wouldn't you think that'd be congested right there, when you got the school there, you got buses there, you got people that's residential living there, you got traffic from the bank there, you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So my thing is too, before this even go in, it's gonna be like this, because here it is now, it's not a broad street, it's a narrow street. It just can't get 2 cars there. Just think about the traffic that's gonna come from that development, think about the traffic that's coming from the bank, residential, we got this preparatory school, you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So how would that work?
He can show you on the print there.
Well, I got my glasses on.
I can't see. We originally had it off of one coming straight into the property. FDOT is the one that told us we couldn't do it. So they've been blocked. It's the only other place we can come in.
I think the entrance is a little bit wider, correct?
Mayor, we'll also have Ms. Jocelyn come up and state to the commission that this site plan was approved by the ZAP board and when it was done, so that everybody understands that process. Jocelyn, are you able to come up?
No, we,
Yeah, I got a question, with the, like you said, with the pilots and the demucking, cause since that was a shop and all that, is that gonna be tested?
It has to be.
And demucking, you know, I said parking building, but from seeing what I see there, that building gonna be pretty heavy. And 3 stories high, that's gonna be a lot of demucking, But I know whatever gotta be done, gonna be done, but everything look good, you know, prices sound reasonable, but, you know, I hope this time that whoever you with, that they bring this through. We've been promised a lot of BS, and ain't got nothing to put in the school yet.
I understand.
So I appreciate y'all coming through, and, it'll be nice, you know, if it work out.
Good evening, Mayor and Commission, if I may. So One North Lake project has gone before the ZAP board. A letter was sent to Mr. Taylor acknowledging that they were approved and awarded. And I will read the letter. It says, "Dear Mr. Taylor, we are pleased to inform you the City of Pahokee Zoning Adjustment and Planning Board has reviewed and approved the site and landscaping plan for 1 North Lake, 100 North Lake Avenue, and the parcel number 483742 18-18-000-0182, Pahokee, Florida, at the 6 p.m. ZAP board meeting on Thursday, the 9th of November, 2023. Upon the administrative review and final submission from the Building, Planning, and Zoning Department, the City of Pahokee, the ZAP board approved the site and landscaping plans pursuant to the City of Pahokee's Land Development Code, Section 14-24, and under subsection, I'm sorry, I don't have my glasses on, G and H, has been met under the City of Pahokee's Building and Zoning Department requirements for site and landscaping plan submittals. 1 North Lake can move forward with the next steps of development process. The approval letter expires in 1 year from the date of the ZAP board approval date, which was November the 9th, 2023. And if an extension is needed, please contact the City of Pahokee in advance of your expiration date in order to reschedule an appearance before the ZAP board for an approval. If you have any further questions, the team is available to assist. And as well as, so during the ZAP board presentation, Tom Lanahan, who is the planner from Treasure Coast Planning Council, was present, and ZAP board was able to ask all the pertinent questions they needed. Plans, landscaping plans, all that has gone before CAP government, and they have been, and civil plans as well. All those plans that were necessary were also submitted to fire rescue, so they have reviewed and approved. So we're just waiting for a stamp to come back, but everything has been approved, has been reviewed by engineers from CAP government, as well as the other officials that have the required licensing to approve the project. Thank you.
If they desire to extend the time, what's the length of time that they have to notify you by?
So they have the letter, they have a year. So within that year, if it gets to, say, 6 weeks out, they need to come back to us and say, we need an extension to be able to move
So within 6 weeks
forward.
of the expiration of
Date.
the year, they have to notify you.
So they come back
ZAP.
and then we go back to the ZAP board and they request an extension. Thank you.
I promise I'll be brief. You guys are okay with that? For those people that are here in Pahokee, you guys, most of you have probably never seen me before, but long before I started this project, I used to work for the county. So doing both zoning, planning, land use, and economic development. And in fact, several of the projects you guys have here in Pahokee were the ones that I fought for to get funded, including the gas station you have here at 680 Main Street. Circle K was approved by our department some years ago. And I also have, if you guys have ever been to Belglade on Avenue A, all of the nicer looking buildings on the right side of the road, those were the ones that went through my department as well when I was working at the county. So although I'm not from this area, I've been familiar with this area. I don't know the history. Here's what I've noticed. There are few people that have other than the young lady who spoke earlier, who probably have my broad knowledge of both understanding true economic development from a land use perspective, from a real estate perspective, and from a finance perspective. In order to create any community, doesn't matter where it is, and make it sustainable, there has to be some level of cohesion between its people. I've done, there are 38 municipalities within Palm Beach County. I've worked in a lot of them, both publicly and privately, and I have never seen the kind of infighting that I've ever seen here.
It's good. It's good.
And so I just have to be honest with you as somebody who has always kind of had a heart to bring things to the Glades, because I grew up in an area where, you guys ever heard of Black Wall Street? I grew up in that area, didn't even know about it till I went to college, which is like crazy. But the reason I bring that up is because everybody has, I think, has the same desire, but I'm sitting here and I'm listening to all the commentary, I'm listening to the history, I'm listening to the pain, I'm listening to the mistrust.
Thank you, Jesus. Somebody.
And
My God.
I don't know how to bridge the gap, but I do know that this city cannot survive unless you guys find a way.
Don't get on the wrong side. That's how you
Because
bridge the gap.
what broke my heart the most is when I see these kids come in here, right? This is supposed to be your legacy and your future. If there cannot be some middle ground between the two, however that happens, there is no legacy, because they won't come back. We can build all the houses we want, but if there's no opportunities here, people won't stay. So the Marina's great, but in order to create sustainable communities, and she knows this, you have to have an economic nucleus of opportunity, right? Quality housing where people want to stay, and opportunities for people to work and make money. There's no two ways around that. So it doesn't matter how much money the state throws here. If you guys can stand on at least this, is that everybody wants the city to be better. The question is just how you get there. As somebody who's trying to bring something to this area that is groundbreaking and would like to bring more once it's done, there has to be a level of progress in that area. And I'm not from here, so I don't know how you get there, but I'm just telling you, somehow, you got to make it happen. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
One of the answers to your question, how do we get there? We need to have leadership. We need to have qualified personnel. We need to have accountability and transparency. And we need to have the community involved. And that has been lacking in this town for a long time. And some of us, you see all those kids here? Some of us that are here, that's what we do it for. Because it's up to us, it's our responsibility. I feel responsible for the future generation. They deserve better than what we have for them.
And we also need to utilize the state funding in a right way to build this city up. That's really what's the problem here. It's the funding that the state has given out, the money. All this money that the state has given out, you can't see it in the city. Where at? It's not here.
That's why it's hard for y'all to
It's not
get some
here.
money. That's why it's hard for y'all to get some money, because they gave out so much.
Well, I tell you what,
$15 million mayor. Did you see it?
There's a poster board over there that I hope you guys can keep inside your city hall. If you scan the QR code on there, it'll take you to like a contact page. You know, you guys can call me, or not call me, but please message me, give me commentary, because I'm busy, so I won't get to you right away. But it's important for her and for the city to understand everybody's comments from a land planning perspective and the vision of the county, because that's what her job is going to be, to put that vision into words so that your comprehensive plan and now your land use plan can create things that are even better than that.
I got one better than that. I got a Facebook page named Robert Love. We got over 21,000 people on there. Come on there, and then you'll find out what's going on here. Go to Robert Love on Facebook. I see better than them. They used to be on there, now they
And to say something to that effect, we've had a comprehensive plan that I found out is from 2009.
Yeah, it's outdated.
This is my third year as a commissioner, and I have never seen it.
It's not.
I haven't seen it. I saw it when it was given to us for this agenda.
It's really outdated. No, it's really outdated.
Everything I did,
But I mean, they're known around the states.
I know.
You're in good hands.
I know.
But
And-
he needs my help or wants to collaborate, I'm here.
If I could have your business card?
Yeah, before everybody. Anybody else have any questions? No? All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you. We thank you. Yeah, we still able to get out of
Mr. Lucas. There.
Next up is Miss Annie Eiffel.
Good evening, everyone. Mine will be brief. Annie Eiffel, Healthier Glades. Mr. Taylor, thank you for that presentation. Having gone to a couple of meetings, housing is definitely a topic of discussion. And what we're starting to see too now is with a lot of the properties here in the Glades, Belle Glade, South Bay, Pahokee, we're seeing landlords now are really jacking up the prices for rents, and it's making it so difficult for families to afford to live in those places, and that we're starting to see a new face of homelessness in our communities. And so I'm here today, and I will be brief. Just want to let you know that there's grant opportunities that are coming up. Tomorrow, if you have a nonprofit, there is a information session with Community Foundation of Palm Beach and Martin County, and they will be doing their grant seeker information session, and this is an opportunity for guys to seek funding. The Community Foundation has to invest X amount of dollars into our communities, in the Glades in particular, and so that asked me to make sure that I get the word out to everyone to please come out. The information session will be tomorrow at 10:30 at Student Aces. You should have been able to register. If not, still come, because that way you can sign up, and because you have to be present at one of the meetings in order to apply for those as well. Also, just want to talk about, speaking of grants, as you know, Healthy Glades has been doing our mini grants now for the past 5 years, and we're getting ready to celebrate our 10 awardees. And so we'll be doing our mini grant celebration Saturday, December 16th at 10:30 a.m. I sent the email to city manager and the mayor to extend an invitation for you guys to come. We wanted to just make sure we highlight our winners. That means we're going to be investing $30,000 into these mini grant awardees who will be implementing projects in the Glades. So there will be projects that will be taking place in Belle Glade, South Bay, and Pahokee as well. So I just wanted to make sure that you were aware of that, and thank you for your time.
I have a quick question. Oh. Do you have any flyers? Is y'all gonna have any flyers? 'Cause I want some personally so I can give out to the business owners myself.
Yeah, so every year what I do, I always come to present before the commission meetings when we do our announcement of our mini grants, and I always place applications in the back, and you can always go to any of the libraries. And so we've been doing that. We'll do it again. We'll probably be doing it again sometime in September of 2024. So we're wrapping up our mini grant cycle now. And so what I'll do, I'll come back again and get that information out to you guys. Residents can get up to $3,000. Organizations can get up to $2,000. And the reason why we do this is we want to make sure that we give residents who have never heard anything about grants or know anything about the grant writing process to learn about it. This year what we did is we also did workshops. So for the ones who got awarded, they had to participate in 6 mandatory workshops to learn about grant writing, because one of the things we realized, you may have an idea, but you don't know how to go about securing additional funds so that you can keep your projects going. And so what we did, we provided 6 weeks of training, and we had partnered with Community Foundation to offer those trainings, Palm Health Foundation and others. So we'll be doing we usually do our applications in August, and you usually have until like September to submit them.
So the grant writing training was just the basics?
Yeah, so what we're gonna do this year is we're looking at doing the grant writing workshops before we start our grant process. Because one of the things we realize is that we need to give folks the basics first, like how you do a budget, how you identify what your idea is, how you talk about how you're gonna implement your program and stuff like that.
Yeah, the reason I asked because there's a lot of businesses that's missing out. They're not getting what other businesses are getting. You know, we got Golden Mother, she's the one right now getting all the funding from the city. When we have other businesses here that need the funding also. And it's not fair to other business owners, it's not fair.
So we just, I mean, and you and so I know I get asked a lot to try to share information, and if you go to our Healthier Glaze page, I'm always posting different grant opportunities. And so one of the things I hear all the time is, well, I didn't know nothing about it. And, you know, I get that all the time too. But, you know, I'm only one person, and I can always only put it out the best way I know how. And so what I'll try to do is I'll try to make sure, do my best to try to make sure that I come to the commission meetings, make sure that you know that things that are happening in the community, so that way you can be abreast and make an informed decision on how you want to do it. And one other good thing is put flyers out, Spanish and English, put flyers out. You know what? A lot of people don't do it. I keep saying that over and over and over and over and over. Put flyers out. You don't have to put a whole lot out. The main target in the community. Put the flyers out. People, everybody go to the post office. Sometimes they won't let them go in the post office. Sometimes they don't let you, because I went to the post office. Sometimes they won't let you put them in the post office, but sometimes they'll let you put them on the outside, not inside. But see, the flyers is the best. That's the best. You know, a lot of people don't use social media, Facebook. Right. I keep saying the flyers, Spanish and in English, and that way I know there's no reason for them not to see it because it's out there. And one of the things, and I know I do a lot of social media, and I do know that flyers do help, but you know, the challenge that I have, because I'm with the job that I do, I'm only a staff of one, so I have to rely heavily on volunteers and folks within my leadership group to help get the word out. So I have a board that I answer to, and anything that we're doing, I try to make sure that the board knows the information so they can get the information out as well. So you're not the only one that that has said anything about flyers. I hear it all the time. I know you had a question. I know Mr. McPherson had a question.
Yes, the location for tomorrow morning and how it works.
So the location for tomorrow morning is going to be at Student Aces in Belglade. You know where the old Bank of America used to be? It's in that building, and it's at 10:30.
And how do we register?
If you go to Community Foundation of Palm Beach and Martin County, you should be able to click on that link. But they may have taken that down already since it's tomorrow. So that's why I said just show up.
Say 10:30.
Yes, ma'am.
The grant writing class will be off for anybody at the junior college?
Oh yeah. We've been trying to do grant writing workshops for a while now, but we just hadn't had a chance to find the right people to provide the training. This year I was blessed enough to partner with some local funders to provide some of those workshops. So one of the things, some of the feedback that we got from the recipients for this year is to offer it before we start our grant cycle process.
That's awesome, because I see we don't even have a grant writer. We don't even have one.
Yes, sir.
I heard you said something about funding for residents. If that's a specific type of residence.
So yeah, so a lot of folks get when we started this process about 4 or 5 years ago, when we introduced grants, people thought that there was money that they could just apply and it'd be just for themselves. But we had to do some education and say for this we had to use the money and implement projects that can benefit the residents in the community. And by using the dollars, you don't have to charge it. It'll be free for the community because we're giving you the dollars to implement the project. Some people have asked me, do we do grants for businesses? Unfortunately, for Healthier Glaze, we do not. But you know what? Some people have had projects that they want to do that ended up becoming businesses, but they just needed to start up. So, but as far as like startup businesses, like one to do like a food truck or something like that, we don't do those.
The reason I ask that because with the ARPA funds, everybody that owns mobile homes was opt out on that. So otherwise, we're a citizen to come to certain things. And that's the reason I'm asking about this, is funding for all residents, y'all separated.
Oh, no, because see, for Healthier Glaze, I serve the communities from Canal Point all the way to South Bay. So anybody who has a zip code within Canal Point to South Bay, you can apply for our grant, regardless of, we don't look at whether or not you live in a rental unit or a mobile home or whatever. If you're a resident and you have an idea and you live within the zip code, you can apply, incorporated or unincorporated.
Y'all fair. That's great.
Annie,
Yes, ma'am.
Saturday, where's
It's going to be at the Belglade Civic Center at 10:30 for our celebration.
Anyway, apply for the grant. What is the grant can be used for?
So for us, our grants can be used. So when we were founded about 6 years ago, we had to focus on issues around improving health outcomes by addressing issues around behavioral health. So you can do stuff on health and wellness, support groups, doing stuff with youth, you can use those categories to apply for our funding. And we also have a faith-based, so we also encourage our grant recipients to make sure that you collaborate with a faith-based partner.
But it's not grant that can use for personal use.
Not for personal use, no.
So what are you referring to at first?
No, I was just, no, because the grants, some of the grants that they're saying, like you only use, like she's saying, you have to come up with a project.
Yeah.
Like within the city in order for the grant. Some people
You-
think the grant
you
is that
receive-
they can use it for, I'm not as far as partying, I'm saying for as, whether you're home or anything, it can't be used for
The
that.
reason I stayed was because I've been a resident here 53 years. It don't matter if I own a brick house, a wooden house, a mobile home. I pay taxes, I spend my money in this city. I work in West Palm. I come to Pahokee to buy my gas. I spend my money at Pahokee. And when the Audit form came out, I felt like the mobile home people that had mobile homes, regardless of we was opt out. We could have got $1,500. You know how much $1,500 to do for a mobile home for wombers? You can change woman, you got to raise your doors, anything. But it was laid out as no more home help. So now we have to find other resources outside the city to get help.
Yes, and unfortunately, I'm not as familiar with ARPA, so I couldn't even, I
Well, I know you're
don't,
not
yeah.
familiar, but
Mr. Lucas,
it's a shame that we have to go outside.
was
the
it
city.
part of the ARPA that the mobile homes or part that were not eligible?
That came from.
I'm gonna go ahead and have a seat, Mayor Commission, but I just wanted to let you know, I was looking back there on that table, and our, application is in the back. What you can do is you can use that and take a look at what we look for grants, so then when time comes for the process to start next year, you can use that as a template. Thank you, and have a good night.
So, Mr. Lucas, was that part of the ARPA?
We have to look at how we want to redefine the reallocation of monies for next month.
I mean, as far as trailer
Well,
homes?
generally, with a mobile home, because it's not attached to concrete or attached to the land, it depends on how you file and get your mobile home considered. It has to be something that says that it is a home. So it's all in your filing.
Okay,
Have you ever
listen.
looked at mobile home?
Yes, sir.
You know how they anchor to the ground? They're anchored to the ground. Anchored to the ground, that's right.
Sir, at this time, we need to move on with the agenda. We're on our fourth item on the presentation, and we got the financial report.
He said he's not, so that's done.
Okay.
Well, take a look at Mark. And you maybe have a different thought about it.
We're gonna work and see what we can do for you.
I appreciate all I asked you to try.
All right. So, next and final thing under presentation is the fourth quarter report. Wanted to go over it. Ms. Val, can we get the PowerPoint up? In your mailboxes, commissioners, is the fourth quarter report. So it's there for your review. We can go over it at our next commission meeting, but I wanted to get in your hands. Yes, it's also the one that was emailed, yes, sir. All right, I wanted to go over the fourth quarter financial report. The interim finance director, Mr. Martin, is in the rear. So this summary covers the fourth quarter of the fiscal year 22-23. It's 100% of the year that has lapsed. It's unaudited. The data is up to September 30th of 2023. So cash management overall, the city cash balance is positive. For the month of September 2023, cash in and out for the general expenditures exceeded the general fund reserves by $289,700. The current fund balance being used to cover the city operations is as follows. You have cash management in our PNC Bank of $685,369.
You have 15,359 for the checking plus. The payroll at any given point, this varies, but it's 13,535. This is just a picture of what we had at that moment. Our other checking account had 62,464. Our PNC plus with ARPA. So to the right, you see what the account's for. You have 1.5 million in it for ARPA. For investments, we have 653,962. And then the cemetery fund has 130,356. Total cash and investment is 3,142,480. Our reserves is 290,982. 58,391 is for SBA local government investments. Total accounts including reserves is 349,373. Our restricted account is for surtax. It's 511,970. And then our Henderson Fund, which is the fund that the cemetery gets interest off of, is always the 891,113. And our total is 1,403,083. On the next slide, this just breaks down the percentage of our tax base, what makes up the budget. 108% of that is taxes, 103% is permits, governmental is 96%, fines and forfeits is 79%, charges for services and revenues is 108%, and miscellaneous revenues 161%. And then there's explanations to the right, and then the expenditure is broken down on percentage of what it makes up of the budget. Next slide. This would be slide 5. So quarter ending September 30th, 2023. It breaks down our amended and then our year to date and that percentage of what it is of the budget. So the taxes, revenues coming in, 1,518,291. Permits generated 284,150. Intergovernmental generated 1,415,590. Fines and forfeits generated 140,300. Charges for services is 860,220. Miscellaneous revenue 145,176. Other sources $1,351,515. So that's what was budgeted, and then you see the actuals there of the year to date. And the total revenues was 5,715,242, and then the actual was 5,021,943. Difference of 12% of being off from being the total amount of dollars collected.
Can you
Next
explain?
slide.
I'm sorry. Can you explain the other sources that you have at the very bottom? Other sources?
So what was earmarked for other sources? Mr. Martin, can you chime in?
The other source is the fund balance and the transfer, the shortfall transfer.
Mr. Martin, sorry, sir, can you please speak up? I can't hear you.
Yes. My speech is all blurred, so bear with it. Yeah, the other source is the fund balance and also the transfer of the shortfall, the ARPA.
Could you also, if I could you also explain, on page 3, it indicates cash management for the month of September 2023.
I have a question. Are we
Yeah.
gonna have another section that we could ask questions Cause I can just look at this and, you know,
Yeah, I
I
would
wanna
hope
be
so.
able to look at it, study it, and come back and,
So let's plan on,
Say
since
next
we
week,
gotta go
next
to
commission
legislative
meeting.
days on January 9th, we can do it the next meeting in January and have a workshop before. Or do a session, workshop separate from, that to go over the budget. And then February, we'll be due our first quarter, budget for this year. So we can make time. It's not like someone's trying to rush anything. I just wanted to
Well,
update you on,
the thing that this is the fourth quarter, I didn't get first, second, or third quarter.
well, we gave you first quarter, but maybe you just didn't recall, but that's okay. We get you whatever you need.
And what happened to the second and the third? If you
It's
say
there.
you gave us one first quarter,
It's there.
why we didn't get it?
Well, with all the requests for things, it kind of bogs down the finance staff.
That should have nothing to do
Well,
with
it
it.
does
'cause
have everything to do with it. I
we
beg to
requested
differ.
it, but we don't have it, so what's the
You-
difference?
You sick the.
This is something that you need to do anyway.
Can I speak?
For operation of the city, so this is nothing that took time. And whatever we requested should have been already there. I'm not requesting something that you're projecting for the future that you have to come up with it. What I requested should have already been there, which to date I haven't received, so what's the difference? I mean, we've asked all year long, we've asked for financial reports. We get budgets that are not even line items. We just get titles and totals. We don't get finances. I don't have any idea what the financial status of the city is.
Commissioner Perez, it is provided. You should have a package that has the detail information. You
Well,
should-
that's this, and this
No,
is in their mailbox.
No, we don't have a line item budget. And the way that it should
Commissioner
be.
Perez, this is what I was saying when I first started. I said, in your mailbox, you will find your itemized budget. It's in your mailbox. Please review it and let's come back and go through what your concerns are. I did say that.
As a line item budget for 23, 24?
I'm going to refer my question. Continue with your report so we can move on. I'll ask a question later. I was in the middle of asking a question. I thought it was important, but it wasn't. But I mean,
No, he can finish answering your question, man.
No, I was cut off, but that's fine. We can go on. It's 8 o'clock. We can go on.
All right, so, Mr. Martin, make sure we get an answer in the email to the mayor on page 3. And I'll call you so we can get it done, okay? Continue, Martin. The question was asked, what was other sources, and you said it was fund balance and shortfall, correct?
Right.
All right, was there any other questions, sir?
No, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, next slide, 6. So, fourth quarter ending, you have a breakdown of the amended budget by item, commission, $162,349, city manager, $361,673, city clerk, $170,285, financial and general accounting, $383,235, human resources, $108,325, IT and access, $40,000, legal consultation, $100,000, comprehensive planning, $15,250, public safety, $630,000, code enforcement, $318,511, community and economic development, $244,021,
Parks and Rec, Roads and Street, $1,641,841. Parks and Rec, City, $714,922. Parks and Rec, Palm Beach County, $164,227. Parks, $39,383. And then when you look over to the next column, the year-to-date, you see that it's a difference of 13%. Commission's budget, I don't know if it's been adjusted yet, but the year-to-date actual is $147,712. So we came under budget, and then you have city managers under budget, $336,929.
Where are you looking at?
On page 6 in the middle here.
See, I'm in this column. So I'm just going through saying, here's what was budgeted, and then here's how it come in to date.
So, all right, so, city clerk is, under, with what was budgeted, $138,701. Financial and general accounting, $315,390. You have human resources at $64,785. You have IT at $35,190. Legal, hit its mark. Comprehensive plan, probably have to do a budget adjustments to see why this number didn't move. Public safety's at $582,466. Code enforcement is at $275,757. Community and economic development's at $197,743. Then public works is at $1,417,000. The actual budget for recreations, city is $588,758. Recreation department, Palm Beach County is $149,377. Then you got parks at $41,447, so it's a little over what was budgeted. And then you got the non-departmentals. So, and that was under budget.
So according to this, we actually spent less than what we budgeted for? So how come we amended the budget and we increased it by 600 and something thousand?
That's for next year, right?
Well, okay.
The budget was amended because we had a deficit, and that was the shortfall of the ARPA allocation to increase, so we to cover the deficit.
When you're saying that the ARPA shortfall, explain that to me.
There was a deficit in the general fund. As you know, there are many revenue that we're not getting yet because the state is holding.
Come again?
Some of the funds, some of the money.
Yes.
We don't have because the state is holding that fund.
The city is holding the fund?
The state is holding.
So with the delay in us getting our audit done for the fiscal year 2020-21, which we just completed last month, November, we should have the report and get that filed before the year's out. Then the hold will release probably close to $1 million that where we paid and received reimbursement back from like FDOT and all those places. They have a hold until we get our audit in. So that's what's going on there, but we've completed it, they're aware, and once that gets in and reported, then it's released.
So you're getting money from the ARPA funds to cover what the state is holding because we did not file the audits on time. Is that what's going on?
Yes.
And we're gonna get the entire money that they're holding?
Correct.
Not entirely. Some of it, they will hold it back. They will give it to the state. Not all of it.
And also for the tax, the surtax, we're not getting all of it
Yeah, some of the fund, we're not gonna get all of it.
because.
So those are some our reimbursements that they're holding. That's what it is?
Well,
It's money that was supposed to come to us, but because we were not being compliant with the city audits on time or not completing them, sending them not completed, the state decided to hold our money and so the revenue money from the
20-21.
surtax, and we're not getting all of it.
Well, the monies that we have submitted for reimbursement is being held by FDOT. So we're gonna get all those funds back. I don't
That's what I'm asking,
understand.
those reimbursement funds.
Yes,
Yeah, that's what I'm asking, yeah.
you know, so staff's been told that we will get that as soon as we get the audit in and it's filed properly to the state, which that audit is done, and then we hope to get right on the next one for 21-22. We got until April to get it in, or we have another sanction on it, so we're trying to quickly get that done.
And as far as FDOT, I know that they told the city that the city would most probably have to cover some of those expenses or payouts, whatever you call it.
It's a work in progress, so once we get this system done, we'll reassess and see where we're at and what's been being released, and we'll let you guys know exactly how much that is. In fact, when we come back next month, I'll be able to tell you what's out there that's pending, so that way you have a figure.
And it said, right, legal, or however word you want to use, to have used the ARPA funds to cover the general fund shortfall?
It's not really.
No,
using-
it's not
it's a
like what you're
shortfall.
thinking. So you're allowed shortfall, there's a column in ARPA. And we went over that. There's a bunch of line items. We're gonna go over it again next month to see how we wanna reallocate the balance of the $1.4 million we got left.
Will have to be reallocated for the same programs that you told them that we were gonna do. So you gotta use it for the business, for the rent, for the repairs.
You don't have to use it for, we've underutilized funds on some of the things. I'm just trying to get through this right now, and then in my report, we'll talk about ARPA and all those things.
Go ahead.
So basically what she's asking is if that's an eligible use based on the final rule, and the answer is yes. Moving right along.
You guys have the ability to reallocate or continue a program with funding based on the ruling.
Based on the ARPA.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't think that's what I read, but if you said that we can, then
We'll, we can pull the excerpt from the final rule that substantiates that, and maybe we can move on from there.
All right, so on 7, the revenues is $472,268. Actual came in at $521,031. Expenditures from the surtax showing $472,680. 68, and year-to-date, 470,310. So, our expenditures supposed to be even with our budget. And on the next slide, number 8, here's what we used in the ARPA funds. It's 893,560. Next slide. We paid off our loan balance of 158,035. It actually was for 157,501. So that was for the football field. So that's been paid off. Next slide, 10. Your capital projects. We have them budgeted at $1,893,943. We actually went through in expenditures $996,537, and we had to add reimbursements to that to get us at close to a fund balance of $1,743,252. Then last is slide number 11. It's Marina and Campground. It was budgeted at $348,845. We actually got revenues at $310,162. Cemetery generated, our budget was $245,681. We actually generated $238,965. And then the expenditures came in the Marina at $307,623, and then the cemetery expenditures came in at $232,629.
On the Marina campground, where do we get, how do we get the 3,010,162? Where do we generate that income from?
I believe that a lot of that is the campground, because we have like 112 spaces and we probably at half of that. And basically, it's around
See,
$500
if we would have
a
had
spot.
financial report on a timely basis, we could have kept track of all this. Because I like to see, I'd like to see where we got all these figures from. Also on the surtax expenditure, you know, I like to know what projects we funded with the surtax.
If you look at page 38 of the package, it will give you the detail. Page 30.
That's in, we didn't get that one, that's in the mailbox.
This is in the mailbox,
Because that was
that you,
going with it,
you-
yeah.
page 38. But it's on your, if you can pull it up on your phone, your emails, you'll be able to see it. But on page 38 that he's saying, it breaks down the revenues. It shows 148,100 for campground revenues. It shows laundry, $850. It shows in marina deposits, $4,362. It shows rental marina area.
We're trying to write, we're trying to write.
Pardon?
Okay, so we got the 148,100 for the campsite, right?
And you know,
All right, what's
laundry.
after that?
Laundry.
Okay, so.
Is that for the entire
The
year?
rentals,
Yes.
yes.
The laundry was,
All right, so going back up,
850.
marina campground revenue, sorry for spatting out the numbers. 148,100. Marina revenues for laundry, $850. Marina deposits, 4,362
Deposit for what?
for the campsites.
But that, don't you give it back as a deposit?
Well, you still gotta show that you're holding. It's just like if you, like, when a person rents a house and they ask for a deposit, you
Yeah,
can't.
I know, you
gotta-
bring it in, but then you take it out, so that's in the expenditure?
We show the cash, so,
All right, so deposit?
all right, so the rentals, marina area is 8,850, and then the inner,
You said what was the 8,850?
8,850.
That was for,
That's the rentals of the marina area.
okay.
So then this inter fund trans, general fund, what is that,
That's,
Mr. Martin?
the support of the general fund for the marina.
How much is that?
148. We
So-
budgeted 183, but, we support the general fund support the marina by providing $148,000. Because otherwise they will.
So we're losing $148,000 a year.
So, say there's about 50 campers up there,
If you,
then at $500, that's like 25,000. So,
If we're having to transfer money from one account to the marina,
Commissioner Perez.
yes,
it was
explain that to me.
It was budgeted for 183. They didn't use all the 183, they used 148, but it was in the budget.
It was in the budget, but it wasn't revenue that was collected. It's an intergovernmental,
Both the marina and the cemetery are getting support from the general fund.
because they're not generating it.
Correct,
So we're losing money on both places,
correct.
okay?
so if you got 148,000 support from the general fund and you made 148,100 from rentals of the campsite,
No.
in addition to the other thing.
Mayor, that concludes our presentation.
We're losing money in the marina every year.
Okay, next we have our consent agenda,
Numbers
which
could tell you
consists,
whatever.
That's always been.
which consists of two items, the October 24th, 2023 City Commission meeting and the November 13, 2023 special meeting minutes. I entertain a motion if it's the desire of the commission to move this as a consent agenda.
What are we doing now?
We're approving our consent agenda.
Which are the consent agenda, because,
It's on the F, it's two items, October 24th, 2023 City Commission meeting minutes and the November 13, 2023 special meeting minutes.
Mayor, I move that we will accept the consent agenda, October 24th, 2023, City Commission meeting minutes, November 13th, 2023, special meeting minutes.
It has been moved by Vice Mayor Mervin and properly seconded by Commissioner Bowden for the approval of the consent agenda item, which consists of the 2 minutes that was mentioned. Call for questions. Hearing none, are you ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Vice Mayor Mervin.
Yes.
Commissioner Bowden.
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez.
Yes.
Commissioner Perez.
where are the minutes?
It's the second tab in on page 15.
Okay, this is when you added, requesting adding the new emergency resolution 2023-68. for October 24. I'm gonna vote no.
Mayor Bab?
Yes. Thank you, City Clerk. Thank you, Commissioners. Motion passed by a majority of 4-1 vote. Next, we have old business. I don't think we have anything listed on old business, so we'll move to the public hearings and our ordinances. Our first ordinance is ordinance 2023-08.
An
City
ordinance.
Attorney.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Pahokee, Florida, establishing a policy for the disposal of city-owned surplus property, providing for an effective date.
City Manager, could you give us a brief explanation?
Yes, the surplus is either it's going to be an auction, or it'll be RFP, a bid process or auction process deemed on equipment that is no longer useful to the city, and it'd be deemed that, and that would be the process for our surplus properties based on the OIG, the Office of Inspector General, from their report.
So we're talking about equipment, surplus of equipment, right?
Not land, equipment.
Anything that's city-owned that we deem obsolete.
So that could also mean land, property.
Land and property should not be deemed obsolete because it has a value. It never
Right.
loses value.
So is that?
Yeah, but you have lots that aren't buildable, so that had to be considered.
They're still valuable.
Yeah.
So either you do.
I don't think
either you do
any
either you do a
land
bid
or property
a-
should be
a auction.
either conveyed or donated or gifted. Anything that has value should be RFP or it should be auction.
Yes.
You can
We
can't
need
say
the
that
money.
it's not donated, because we donate property to Habitat. As I come Habitat, building the 3 houses now.
Then it should
those
come
are-
in
those
front of the
are-
commission.
It did come before the commission.
on
Everything
a-
has to come before the commission.
Not if you put this, it's up,
Yeah, that's
this
what-
says that it's up to the city manager to put it in a memorandum,
But has to
bring
come
it
before the
here,
commission.
tell us, and then he'll come back the next meeting and it be voted on.
So
And
Mayor.
we all know that it's 3-2 here, so you guys are gonna approve it.
Go ahead.
Mr. Mayor?
And
Yes,
right now,
City
we're
Attorney.
being
Yeah,
looked
if I
at
can- if I
by
can,
the
if
jag
I can
line.
go
So if y'all
through-
wanna continue
Commissioner
this,
Perez,
this
let-
continue.
Yeah,
the
there's
city manager.
nothing sinister about this, so if I can go through it for you all. This is a process whereby, and this addresses the Inspector General's report, where they wanted to have a surplus property ordinance in place because the city currently does not.
Equipment.
So, no.
Equipment, they did not state nothing about
Let me just say
property.
this ordinance relates to Florida statutes as well, and so the Florida statutes allows for 166.01021, sub 1 allows for the disposal of real property and other property declared surplus for a valid municipal purpose. And so this relates to both. There's nothing improper about it. Other cities have
Municipal
surplus property resolutions that deal with real property as well as other properties owned by the city. And so the process would go like this. So first, the city manager, after an evaluation, and he makes an analysis, and it has to be a good faith analysis, he would then advise the city commission in writing through a memorandum. That memorandum is the reasons why the property should be declared surplus. The memorandum would then be addressed to the commission, and it would have to be prepared, a resolution would have to be prepared by my office, and then it shall be placed on the next available city commission agenda. So you all would consider whatever it is. You can decide if it's real property and you don't want to declare it surplus, you decide that. If it's a tractor and you don't want to declare it surplus as a majority, you decide that. And then under no circumstances may the city manager dispose of city-owned property in the absence of a resolution. So that has to come before you all, right? So there's nothing that you wouldn't know that the city manager would be doing. Then the city manager would then determine the most appropriate method. This is once you've declared it surplus, there are various things you can do with property. It may be surplus property equipment that he thinks that needs to be sold. It may be a sale, it may be a trade, it may be a donation, any of that. However, none of this could take place unless it's advertised in a newspaper of general circulation, and the disposal would be awarded by either a sealed bid or an auction. It would be awarded to the highest bidder. So that's what is required by this ordinance, to the highest bidder. The city manager may then reject any bid. So if something came in really, really low and it didn't make sense and it wasn't in the city's best interest, the city manager could then reject all bids. And then the proceeds of any sale, to avoid what happened before with the issue with where you guys don't know where the money went, the proceeds of the sale of the property would go into the general fund of the city. And so this would be clear that the proceeds, whatever comes out of it, it all goes into the general fund of the city. Now, if you pass this, you would have this codified, and it would be a part of an ordinance, and it would be a part of a procedure that you would have to abide by. There would be no guessing. There's no room where nobody can say they didn't know what happened or any of that, because not only are you approving a resolution to do whatever you do, whatever it is, but you're also putting it out in a newspaper, and you have to advertise it in a newspaper of general circulation so everybody in the rural could see it and bid for it and know about it. So that's the procedure. It not only comports with the statute, but it also would address the finding that you had on this issue previously. Thank you.
Okay, right there, you got two things going on, okay? You're talking about the equipment, and then you're talking about the real property. And it's not clear, ma'am.
Yeah,
I don't care how you read it. Yes, you're addressing
it. It addresses
it.
everything.
No, it does
yes,
not.
It does.
No,
That's
it
what
does
the statute
not.
addresses.
No, it does
Well,
not.
Look at the statute. And
The city manager, after evaluation and good faith analysis, to advise the city commission in a written memorandum reason certain property should be declared property. Once the city manager prepares the written memorandum addressed to the commission, a surplus resolution should be prepared for the city attorney and should be placed on the next available commission meeting agenda.
Yes, so you're just reading the item.
Let me finish. Let me finish. Don't interrupt me, because I did not interrupt you, okay? This is confusing, and it could be taken either way.
Well, look at the
You're
first
talking,
paragraph.
ma'am, let me finish, because I did not interrupt you. I let you read the whole thing. Now I want you to listen to me, what I'm telling to you, okay? It is. You're addressing one thing, and you're doing the procedure
look at the
of
very
another
first
one.
whereas clause.
Ma'am,
It talks
I
about
need
real
to finish
property,
reading
but
it
you're not
without you
making sense.
interrupting me, okay? Annual surplus equipment sale, trade, donation, okay? The city manager may require a surety bond for certain property as the city manager may be deemed appropriate, okay? Certain property. What property are you talking in number 5? Because you're talking about the surplus of equipment on A.
Look at the whereas
Then
clause.
you're talking about the city manager should then advertise in a newspaper or general circulation the disposal. The surplus will be awarded by sealed bid.
I'm just
What
trying to,
surplus?
I'm just trying to
What
explain.
surplus?
If you
No,
let me
you have
explain-
to-
If you stop yelling and just let me explain, I will explain to you. So if you look at the whereas clauses, look at the whereas clauses. Look at the very first one. It talks about
Where's
how-
what
look at the
number are you
very-
talking
Look
about?
at the whereas clauses.
What
It's
are you talking
on
about?
the first page of the ordinance, the very first thing.
It doesn't matter about
Okay,
the first
look at
page.
it.
Everything in here is legal.
No, it does matter because all of these things, if you look at the resolution, everything is incorporated.
Commissioner of
Okay,
Pahokee,
so
City Commission
just
decides
listen for just a
to
second, all right?
Of surplus property determined obsolete for which
Mr. Mayor, I'm just
the
gonna not say
continued
anything. I'm gonna let
use
you off.
is uneconomical or insufficient, or in which it serves no useful function.
Commissioner, at
Land
this
or
point,
real estate, like I said,
at this point, we haven't had a motion or a second. This shouldn't even be discussed at this point.
it should be discussed with legal because she's the one that prepared it.
Okay, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. If it come to questioning.
Go
we can
ahead and
question.
move on.
Okay.
Go ahead and move on. Y'all want to keep putting dirt on you? Put it on you. Put it on you. Because you're not
Okay.
being responsible.
Okay.
Once this thing passes, I told you, we are the ones that are supposed to, the buck stops here.
Understood.
Whatever you approve, it's gonna get done because you approved it. Okay? And you're
And-
gonna approve it because you normally do.
At this time, I'm gonna open this up for public hearing on ordinance 2023-08. Are there, go ahead on, you can,
It's the first reading, Mr. Mayor.
so you don't worry.
You don't have to.
Okay. All right.
And last time I requested, you're gonna advertise it, how many days? What's the criteria
We're moving
for you
on.
to decide that wasn't? That's why we tabled it. You're coming back today with the first reading and none of our concerns were addressed.
City
And I
Commission,
told you, did you write it?
City
Because I don't see
Commission.
nobody taking notes.
haven't heard ordinance 2023-08, properly read into the minutes by our city attorney, properly explained by our city manager and our city attorney. What is your pleasure?
Mayor Bab, I move to accept ordinance number 2023-08.
I'll second it.
It has been moved by Commissioner Bolden and properly second by Vice Mayor Mervin for the adoption of ordinance on first reading 2023-08. Call for questions.
I do. All I'm gonna say is, I've been saying it for a long time, keep a close eye on the city property. That's it.
Should have did that last.
Mayor Bell, that's what they should have did last time, but the thing about it is you have your city attorney here.
Last time.
You have your city attorney trying to explain the ordinance. They won't even give her a chance to explain. You telling her what it says. She's trying to explain.
Because I know how to read and I know how to interpret what it says on here. I don't care what she has to say. I'm reading what is in writing.
So you don't think she's explaining the stuff
Oh,
for the
she
city?
could say whatever she want to say. She could say, I could tell you whatever I want to tell you, and you know that because you've been telling around town whatever you want to
Hearing
say.
no additional question, are
Yes,
you ready
there
for a
is
vote?
additional questions. Yes, there is. There is. It says the city of Pahokee can account for the sale, trade, donation, and conveyance of real property. Real property. Real property. Real property is real property. It's land and it's buildings. That's real property. So we're giving the city manager, after he comes here, you guys approve that, yeah, it could be disposed of. It's up to him to decide whether he want to trade it, donate it, convey it. I don't see here any RFP. I don't see any auction. Okay?
It says that.
And
It says
stocking.
auction. It says auction. It says
Not
bid.
on that line, it does not.
Yes, it does.
No,
If you look,
it does not.
But Commissioner, just because you're yelling doesn't make it right. If you look under Section 3, it talks about under Section 3, it talks about you can bid it to the highest bidder. You have to do
And
it
you're
by
talking
you have
about
to do it by
equipment.
seal
And you're
bid.
talking
You have to
about
do it- you can do it by
equipment.
auction.
And you're talking about
No,
equipment.
you
You're
can-
not talking
no.
about real property.
You
I
can.
read this
This
whole
relates to
thing.
everything. It
I'm-
says it clearly.
I'm moving on. Haven't heard no additional question. Are you ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Bowden?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mervin?
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Nope.
Commissioner Perez?
Nope.
Mayor Bab?
Yes. Motion passed by a majority, 3-2 vote. Next, we have resolutions. First resolution is Resolution 2023-73.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pahokee, Florida, authorizing the city manager to execute the 2024 municipal elections vote processing equipment use and election services agreement between the City of Pahokee and Palm Beach County Supervisor of Elections in the form attached hereto as Exhibit A, providing for incorporation of recitals, providing for an effective date.
Could you give us a brief explanation, City Manager?
Yes, sir. City of Pahokee and the Supervisor of Elections desire to work together on municipal elections and to allocate certain responsibilities and expenses between the parties for municipal elections. Staff recommend approval of Resolution 2023-73, and that's outlined in the resolution and in the attached agreement starting on page 31.
City Commission, having had Resolution 2023-73 properly read into the minutes by our city attorney, properly explained by our city manager, what is your pleasure?
Mayor Bear, I move that we will accept Resolution 2023-73.
Second.
It has been moved by Vice Mayor Mervin and properly seconded by Commissioner Bowden for the adoption of Resolution 2023-73. Call for questions. Hearing none, are you ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Vice Mayor Mervin?
Yes.
Commissioner Bowden?
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yes.
Commissioner Perez?
Yes.
Mayor Bab?
Yes. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you, Commissioners. Motion passed by unanimous vote. Next is Resolution 2023-74, City Attorney.
We deleted that one, Mayor.
Okay, yeah. Sorry. Next, we have Resolution 2023-75, City Clerk, City Attorney.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pahokee, Florida, authorizing the mayor to execute the First Amendment to the amended and restated interlocal agreement by and between the City of Pahokee and Palm Beach County for the purpose of fleet management services. Attached hereto is Exhibit A, providing for adoption of representations, providing for an effective date.
Thank you, City Attorney. City Manager, brief explanation.
Yes, sir. This is a continuance of the original from February 5th, 2019, between the City of Pahokee and Palm Beach County. They entered into amended and restated interlocal agreement R 2019-0207, which set forth the terms and conditions for all fleet management services, amended and restated in its entirety, and replaced the 2009 interlocal agreement. The parties wish to set forth the conditions for the First Amendment to amend and restate stated interlocal agreement R 2019-0204. Staff recommends approval of Resolution 2023-75.
City Commission, having had Resolution 2023-75 properly read into the minutes by our city attorney, properly explained by our city manager, what is your pleasure?
I agree to accept Resolution 2023-75.
I second.
It has been moved by Commissioner Bowden and properly seconded by Vice Mayor Mervin for the adoption of Resolution 2023-75. Call for questions.
Yeah.
Commissioner Perez.
What is the reason that this was amended?
Where was it rescinded, excuse me, through the mayor? Where was it rescinded? What are you saying?
Why was it amended?
It's amended, if you look at paragraph, whereas clause, paragraph 3, It's amended to include language that will continue the term through February the 5th of 2029 with the renewal option. It also modifies the agreement to add a provision that fuel may only be dispensed into vehicles owned by the city and operated by city employees. And it further states that fuel may not be dispensed into privately owned vehicles under any circumstances. So this would have gone out to, I believe, probably all of the municipalities as an amendment to the interlocal agreement that was entered into.
So all these deletions and amended that went to all the municipalities that participate in the fleet management?
I'm assuming that's how the county normally
You're
does it.
assuming, but
Yeah, it doesn't even matter. This agreement right here, that paragraph 3.
Doesn't matter to you,
I'm
it
saying,
matters to
but I'm
me,
saying
that's why I'm asking
yeah,
it.
I'm dealing with what's relevant in front of you right now. What
Uh-huh.
you're approving is what I just read into the record. And so that's right there in the third whereas clause down. If you look at it, you'll see those are the things that are being amended. There's nothing being rescinded. I don't know what you meant by that. That's why I was just trying to clarify to make sure you understood.
some of them have been deleted entirely and it has been, new language has been added. And you said that you assumed that this went to all the municipalities. I'm asking, did it come to us specifically?
Right, that's normally what the county does, but it's not, for your purposes, it's not relevant. I don't know whether it did or not. I'm assuming, maybe the manager knows, because that's what normally counties do. They'll send out the same terms to all of the municipalities that participate. I'm assuming it went
This
to
is not
everybody.
the same terms.
Yeah, well, you don't know that, and I don't know that, and I'm
It
assuming-
says it on here,
Yeah,
the language
no,
has
what-
been
ma'am,
deleted
I don't even-
entirely and it has been replaced.
Yeah,
What are you talking about?
But you're not talking about what I'm talking about. It's meaning.
No, you're not talking about what I'm talking
meaning
about.
those particular sections have been
I don't
deleted.
have a legal
You know what
question
you try
for you.
to do?
I don't
You
have a
try
legal
to make
question
it-
for
you
you,
try to
so I
make
don't want to
everything sound
hear it.
confusing.
I do not want to hear your
It's not
explanation
confusing.
because I don't need legal advice.
It's not confusing.
The
It's
question
nothing-
went to the city manager, not to you. Okay? Thank you. Mr. Lucas, are we buying the fuel from fleet management? Have we always bought the fuel? Or have we been buying the fuel
I can only.
here and there and everywhere?
I can only answer for my time that we've always bought the fuel from fleet.
So all the fuel that has been used for the city vehicles have been bought from the fleet management?
Unless you use the vehicle to go to a trip, and then if you getting low on gas, you would have to use a city credit card to fill up. But for the most part, in our day-to-day operations, we are using fleet gas.
And that would have only been if it was an away trip, a
Well,
far
You
trip.
have State Market Road, and the other location is Vista Parkway.
Are there any additional questions? Hearing none, are you
and
ready
there's one
for
in
a vote?
Belfast.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Bowden?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mervin?
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yes.
Commissioner
I
Perez?
wasn't finished with the questions. I wanted to ask how does this replacement policy works?
The what again, ma'am?
The replacement policy.
So,
How much is our participation? I imagine that everybody participates and you put an amount, so what is our participation? And, because it speaks about, the useful life, how they is to provide funding source for the standardized replacements of assets for those county departments and other agencies who choose to participate in the program. So what is the participation of the program? What is that?
So when we bring the cars in to get them serviced, there's rules of engagement that apply to what they're gonna look at on that vehicle. They're gonna look at from safety with brakes, tires, they're gonna go through a process. So that is a given in this program that has been in place since 1991, which is a checklist. So that's what you're agreeing to.
And we pay for that?
Well, yeah, you're gonna have to,
Not
They
the
service it.
repairs and all that, I'm saying, cause it's a program.
But they have the fees already figured, you know, based on time. If it may be, you know, they'll send us an invoice and it'll break down how much it is hourly to do whatever they did to the vehicle, or whatever the repair book says it costs to replace a engine mount.
Okay, it says all assets participating in the program will be purchased, replaced, and maintained by fleet management. Replacement assets will be purchased according to criteria based upon useful life, mileage, usage, cost of repair, life cycle costing, and/or other extenuating circumstances, theft, extensive damage, corruption, etc. As part of the annual budget process, fleet management will evaluate all assets which are part of the program to determine which assets may exceed the following replacement criteria. So if we're replacing it, I know here it says,
So, Commissioner Perez, look at the back page, 61, and look at all the revisions that's happened through the history. So it was first issued 10/1 of 1991. Then it was revised December 8th, 1998. Then it was revised September 10th, 2009. Then it was again revised November 28th, 2011. Then it was revised again November 13th of 2017. And the last revision was December 30th of 20. So that's where we're working from this director who just reminds us of the basic criteria of how the car is evaluated and how they operate repairing it.
it
Okay,
also speaks about replacement.
At this time, are there any additional questions? Are you ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam
So you're
Clerk.
cutting me off.
I'm cutting you off because you exceeded the 2 minutes on debate.
I don't have 2 minutes, sir. This
Our rules
commission
of
does not
procedure has
have,
2 minutes.
this commission does not have the authority to censor our time. Our duty is to litigate for the city.
Roll call, Madam
So
Clerk.
that is not part of what we need to do.
The
Commissioner
Attorney
Perez.
General, or anyone you need to, you can report that as a complaint.
No, I am gonna report it to the state.
Commissioner Perez.
What? I'm sorry, what did you say?
Calling for the vote on this resolution.
No, I'm gonna vote no.
Mayor Bab.
Yes. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you, Commissioners. Passes by a majority 4-1 vote. Now we'll move to new business. The January 9th, 2024 City Commission meeting cancellation due to Palm Beach County Day 2024. I'll entertain a motion if that's the desire of the commission.
What was your motion?
No, I'm entertaining a motion. It's up to the commission to move it forward.
Move what?
The cancellation of the meeting for January the 9th
Mayor Babs,
because of Palm Beach County Day.
Mayor Babs, I'd like to make a motion to cancel the commission meeting due to Palm Beach County Day 2024 on January 9th, 2024.
I second it.
It has been moved by Commissioner Gonzalez and properly seconded by Commissioner Perez for the cancellation of the January 9th, 2024 City Commission meeting due to Palm Beach County Days 2024. Call for questions?
Do we have a makeup day for that meeting?
No,
Are
we're
we
only
required to have, how many meetings are we
one
required?
a month.
Has everyone committed to to this?
I'm
To
sorry.
what?
Has everyone committed to going?
So far, there's only 3 people that are going.
What was that? What did they, 3 people going?
So far, 3 of us.
Just for the record, who's the 3 that's going? Or have
I'm
confirmed?
assuming it's Perez, Gonzalez, and most likely Vice Mayor.
I'm waiting for
And,
approval.
here's the thing, without a quorum, we can't have a meeting regardless. If three of you guys are gone, we can't have a meeting.
And Commissioner Bowden says he's waiting on approval, so he's planning on going once approved.
Oh, okay, okay.
Right, next is the discussion.
We had to vote,
Did we vote
Mayor
on it?
Bab.
We did. Okay. Vote. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Gonzalez,
Yes.
Commissioner Perez,
Yes.
Commissioner Bowden,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mervin,
Yes.
Mayor Bab.
Yes. Motion passed by a unanimous vote. Now we'll move to the discussion and the direction of Representative Rick Roth, request for an audit. City Manager.
I just wanted to have a discussion, get direction on, bring your attention to what, Representative Ross wrote to Caruso, the chair. And, we come to find out that both of them were here being toured around by Commissioner Gonzalez. And they never, made way to City Hall or contacted you, Mayor. So I just wanted to understand that they said that there was misappropriation use of funds without any proof, and then they call for an audit of DEO, but then they come back saying they want to audit us operational. So I don't understand. If you're gonna call out for DEO expenditure, why isn't the audit on that?
The state's gonna audit the entire operation of the city. And it's based on proof that they already have. And they came here and they walked to see for themselves what supposedly was reported that was completed and the work that had not been done.
Okay.
So you wanted the entire city to know that's what it is.
Okay, the question on the table is to ask for any discussion or input on what should be done concerning the request. One in particular, the representative didn't have no communication with the mayor or the city manager, and he alleged that there was some allegations of inappropriate expenditures without any proof, and he just asked him what should he do on that. If I was doing it, I would probably write a
What
letter.
can he do? What can he do? What can he do? What can you all do?
Well, he can write a letter and say of
He already
his
did.
disappointment of
The jag lag
just
is
turn in
already
audits, turn
on
in
this.
Just turn
And
in
the
audits.
proof is there. Believe me, the proof is there. The jag lag would have never decided to call an audit without the proper proof. So quit trying to convince the people or let the people think that there is no proof and that he didn't have the proper way. If it wasn't, they never would have approved it. You're talking about the state.
Well, this isn't the first time, agencies have been contacted without any evidence of anything. I don't have a problem with the audit at all.
I don't need.
And none of us should have a problem with the audit.
It's for the best
My
of the
concern
city.
is what he stated.
It's
it
the
was
best for the
based
city.
on, And I'm sure that's something we'll discuss.
Yeah, you could discuss it all you want to. I'm telling you, once they make that decision, it wasn't based on a complaint.
That's fine. We understand what the intentions are. We get it.
Yeah, intentions are to clean up all the corruption in this town and all the corrupted politicians in
Ma'am.
here.
Ma'am, the hand clapping is out of order, please.
Mayor, what's so sad is with the direction of even Rick Roth as being a representative of the city, as you stated, not one, he's at the state where DEO is, where everything goes into an office and where he get any kind of document that he might have wanted. What's so disappointing is that you have commissioners here that contact a representative to come to your area and could have walked right into City Hall and got any document that he deserved, that he wanted, any document. Also, he could have also, at the state, could have easily walked into a DEO office where everything goes and get a printout also. Because talking even with those at the state, they had the ones who he claimed that he have something, they never even possess anything to him on any basis of any wrongdoing of the city of Pahokee. So it would really behoove me.
How do you know?
And we even,
so you contacted them, so it's okay for you to contact. It's okay for you to contact them and find that out, but it's not okay for us to contact them and talk about the corruption, right?
You know, you can't talk
Yeah,
to
amen to that, sister. Amen to that.
But the thing about it, Mary, it's so sad. And going back to what the young man here said, it's sad that you have commissioner. You know, they looking to see the fall of the city. They claim that they are for the city, but for 3 years, these commissioners sat up here and have not presented not one factual information of nothing that they said. We know.
Ms. Freeman, you out of order, ma'am.
Mayor, can you please have her?
Ma'am, you out of order. Lieutenant.
Because evidently she wasn't listening to the budget of the finance guy, evidently. So.
Yes. Yes. She's going.
So evidently she didn't read I guess Mr. Joseph was lying about what the city budget is. So, but anyway, it's just a sad thing that you can't move forward. We supposed to be working collaboratively together as a moving a city forward. But when you have two trying to sabotage something that's going on in a city, it just behooves me that how will you move on like that?
It's not gonna help. Let's move on, please. You had a question there?
No, I'm just saying, she knows I was up there at the Marina with the guys, because you're with Jonathan Mann, his RV, so.
Yeah, I did know. I took a picture of you guys breaking the sunshine law.
That wasn't the sunshine.
I did.
That's not breaking the sunshine law.
What sunshine law? How's it breaking the sunshine law? It's not two commissioners meeting. Why are you talking about stuff that is not? You throw the sunshine law like you don't know what it means.
Perez.
And how do you know they didn't contact him?
I don't know if you got any input, but we're gonna
we didn't see you?
We
saw your Tahoe. We saw your Tahoe at the RV with Jonathan Mann. So
next on the agenda is.
Yes, you were. Go back to look at your videos.
Going back and forth, guys.
Look at your videos. The Muck Tavern has videos, cameras.
We're not going back and forth, guys.
Next on the agenda is the mayor's report. Just want to make this really brief. I first want to thank Aaron Taylor for his presentation, but most importantly, his comment. He didn't go into the details, but hopefully everyone heard those comments. We're here in Pahokee. We're here in the city that most of us proclaim to love. And it's okay to disagree, to be dissatisfied with who's ever sitting here or the city manager, but how you present that to the public and when we're in these meetings, it's killing this city. No investors want to come. You out of order, ma'am.
The city dead, the city broke, and y'all going to jail. Bye.
Mayor Babs, if I may.
Let me finish. So I just wanted to just thank him for even putting that out there. We need to all look at that, not only our residents, but our commissioners. It's 5 of us up here. Nobody's gonna always agree, but how we disagree and how we interrupt each other and how we interrupt staff is just so unprofessional, but we do it. And then we're campaigning for re-election or for a seat at this table. I'm just asking
There's
that.
only
We
two of
look
us
at that.
campaigning for re-election. But you didn't talk about when y'all were campaigning for re-election.
Mayor Bass.
Okay.
What I
If
want
I
to
can
Oh,
complete,
please.
if I can complete my report.
Go ahead,
It's
sir.
just,
Yes,
it's
sir.
a brief report.
Go ahead, yeah.
Also would like to congratulate our Pahokee youth football team on winning 3 Super Bowls and going undefeated. I'd like to thank the coaches, the parents, their guardians, and the entire community for their support. I'm also recommending that we have a State of the City address in January. We need to highlight our successes, look at our challenges, and give some direction on what we're going to do in the following year. But most cities do have annual State of the Union reports, State of the City address, and we haven't had one in at least 2 years. So I've spoken with Mr. Lucas. He's all on board with that, and we want to make sure that the residents will know when that date occurred, so everyone who's interested in hearing that will be able to see that. Also, I would like to thank all the commission and the ones who are running for city commission. Good luck in taking the opportunity to want to represent your city and make it better. And lastly, I'd like to thank and wish everyone a happy holiday season. This is the most joyous part of our seasons. We went through Thanksgiving, now we're going through Christmas, next will be New Year, and concluding with the Martin Luther King parade in March in honor of him and his efforts in bringing and attempting to bring our communities together. So I wish you a safe and happy holiday season. We won't get to see each other again till January sometime, so be safe. Thank you. And now we'll move into the city manager report. City manager.
Thank you, sir. So, upcoming, we have Palm Beach County Legislative Days, Tallahassee, January 9th through the 11th, 2024. We already canceled our commission meeting, January 9th. Next one up will be January 23rd. At that, I plan on having a proper presentation by H. Kelly Marine regarding completing the Marina docks D, E, and F. Like to have plan a ribbon cutting ceremony to reopen the north end of the docks Thursday, January 25th, 2024 at 11 a.m. Also like to have a workshop with Muck Tavern Tuesday, January 23rd from 5 to 6. Commission meeting, at the next commission meeting, also have a discussion direction on the reallocation of ARPA funds. Current project update, ARPA update. The city, I heard there was words out there. The city has not written any bad checks to residents nor contractors. Someone or somebody are passing on bad information, not facts. Our original allocation for ARPA was $3,162,890, and we have spent to date $1,685,148.26. Breakdown, the balance left is $1,477,741.74. We spent on COVID mitigation $16,000. On budget shortfalls and miscellaneous $323,613.46. Minor home repair, we've served 79 residents and to the tune of $375,905. Marina docks D, E, and F board replacement, $576,133. Marina electricity docks D, E and F is $351,100. For rental and utilities, we've served 16 residents at a tune of $15,107.81. Small business, we've served 4 for a tune of $17,288.99. Nonprofits, we've served 1 for $10,000 for a total of $1,685,148.26. Everglade Home 60-unit update. City broker deal with Glades Health and Glades Townhomes on entrance and exit for both properties. Ground clearance is at 80% completion. Once ground clearance is done, construction can begin, I guess after they do the pylons. On the next side, 1 North Lake, 40 units is in the process of scheduling a ribbon cutting ceremony and completing construction site review with Palm Beach County. I'll get with you, Mr. Taylor, on when you think you may be planning that groundbreak.
I'll have to get with the county AGS department.
Okay.
And they usually coordinate that stuff.
All right, I appreciate that, and just let us know so I can plan accordingly for your site. And I appreciate you coming out this evening. Update on H. Kelly Marine repairing Marina floating docks D, E, and F. Initial emergency contractor for $576,133 plus change order for electricity of $351,100 through emergency contracting for a total of $927,233. To date, we spent $349,080.95 on replacements of boards and $109,969.71 on electricity for a grand total of $458,050.66, pretty much at 49% completion. My reports that I've gotten from our building department is boards in Dock D, boards, lights, and water sewer replacements at 98%. Boards, lights, water sewer replacement, 60%. Dock F, boards, lights, and water replacement and repairs at 98%. Also, ribbon cutting ceremony for Marina swimming pool be Thursday, December 21st at 11 a.m. Capital improvement updates. Ms. Adams, are you available to give your update on the capital improvements?
May I ask you a question on the docks? Has that been by paid outs? Have they been putting in, every time they finish a phase, have they been bringing in the invoices and you've been paying it out? How are you paying that?
So we coordinate with capital, with our contractor, with DeWitt, what's DeWitt, their capital government, CapGov. And they go out and they have a form called a A1A form, and they go and they monitor what has been done and inspect. On those things, we have to pull permits, and they use those things to verify. So there's going to be a series of inspections going on for the electricity. We're going to call in fire rescue to do the testing of the fire lines and all those things. So all that's going to be happening here over the next couple weeks.
But how are we paying it?
When they go out, they submit their invoice saying what they had completed to date, and it gets verified.
So it's like the regular grants, the same way?
Like a regular grant, what you mean?
Like the construction company, Russo Construction and them, they submit
Yes, they sign up. So CapGov signs off on the submitted application for payment based on the work done.
Okay.
Good evening again, Mayor and Commission. Update on Barfield Highway. Barfield Highway sod is being laid at various locations. They're completing the fire hydrant adjustments, the water service and the sewer adjustments, as well as base rock along Obama intersection. The forming and pouring of sidewalks at Obama intersection are being done this week, as well as the prepping of first lift of asphalt on 4th to Main Street. McClure project, they're still in design, so as you know, design can take anywhere from a couple of weeks, couple of months to a year. I am waiting on the interlocal agreement back from Palm Beach County so that we can have that. Palm Beach County will be covering the utilities as well as FDOT covering the construction of it. We're also working with WGI for some upcoming funding streams that we're going after. So they are our engineer of record. The benches for the cemetery, the survivors from the storm of 1928, the benches have been received, and you will get a date as to when we will be placing them down. So we've gotten those. Tia, the Miss Walkers.
Miss Walkers will be delivered on December 11th.
Okay.
Well, it was shipped out.
December 11th, that was yesterday.
It was shipped out on December 11th.
WGI is working with us to do run the design and the numbers for MLK Park improvement for everything that goes along with the task 2 items, which is development of the project, construction of the parking, decay paving, and the installation of the appropriate playground equipment. So once those things are completed, then we can put those out for a complete bid. Phase 4 resurfacing, WGI, as you know, it was supposed to have gone out. WGI has reran the design of it, so we'll be able to put that out for East Main, MLK, West 5th Street, West 3rd, and West 2nd. And so that bid is scheduled for December the 18th. My city city event updates. The Senior Legends Holiday Party is the 19th of December. It's at Tanner Park from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. The City of Pahokee's Christmas Toy Giveaway is Wednesday, December the 20th from 6 to 8 p.m. and it's here at Parks and Rec Sports Complex. 2024 MLK Parade and Extravaganza is the 13th of January, 2024. The parade will start the lineup will start at 9:30 and the parade will begin at 11 a.m. The extravaganza will follow immediately after the parade, and the extravaganza takes place at MLK Park. Applications for vendor or parade participants are available at City Hall, or either you can email myself, Jay Adams, or the events at City of Pahokee. The Community Engagement Town Hall for the Comprehensive Plan will be Thursday, January the 18th at 6 p.m. at the Eddie L. Rose Gymnasium. Also, the NEAT grant, which is ran by the county OCR, that NEAT grant will be available as, I believe it is January 9th that it will open up. And I think that is it.
Saturn, what's the status on the McClure Road project?
McClure, so they are working on design. So they're still in design phase. And like I said, it will take a while for design because they are working with Palm Beach County and FDOT to make sure that, and there's technically 4 phases within the design. So it is making sure measurements are there. Any utilities that need to come out or be replaced, they want to make sure that that is included in the design process. So we're trying to avoid as many hiccups as possible so that we don't face the same hiccups that we hit with Barfield Highway.
I have a question. On McClure Road, that includes design engineering and planning and engineering, right?
So
Construction, design and engineering.
Construction. So they project is broken up into the overall agreement is for the city with FDOT. Design is one separate portion of the agreement. And then there's construction and CEI that takes place for another agreement.
And who was the engineer for the original design?
The original, there is no original. We're working on design now for McClure. And WGI
You never had
is,
an engineer for that project?
so when we submitted the application,
Yeah.
the limits were, I would have to go back because I can't remember who was the exact engineer to assist with the application. But it is assisting with the application though, so that we can submit for FDOT that that's a project that we would like to have reconstruction on.
And we have to have a CEI as well.
It includes having a CEI on that
And we
project.
got $933,000.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's just for the first part.
Yes, ma'am.
That only includes the engineering, the design, and all that. So actually, there's not gonna be anything done
Well,
unless we get more appropriations.
We have had a conversation with FDOT. They understand that costs have increased. So as we move along, we'll be able to come back to them. But the kickoff meeting, there was a conversation about the amount of funding that we received. And that's why we asked Palm Beach County to participate in this with the ILA so that it will cover, they can help with covering the design costs from Palm Beach County's standpoint, because they are working on utilities, as well as the CEI and construction costs. So that's why we're asking for that agreement.
Okay, City Manager, that concludes your report.
WGI
So,
is the
all I had was
engineer
just two
for the
things.
water and the road,
They're the design,
Okay.
yes.
So-
They're design engineers.
for
Adams,
the
Adams,
county
let-
utilities and
thank
the
you.
road.
Commissioner Perez, we need to move on. So, just real quick, and then we can always get you additional things, whatever you need, okay? All right, so outstanding is ongoing investigation from OIG, the forensic audit over procurement, and they anticipate a draft report by February 2024. HCT has completed its FY 2021 audit at the end of November, and they will have a written report for the State Auditor's Office by December 31st, 2023. They will also start their 2021-22 audit by the end of January, no later than the first week of February. We have up until, through JLAC, April 2024 to be completed with that one before we would come under scrutiny. That, and then PBSO, we're doing the food drive on the 19th from 10 to noon. So just letting you guys know, in case you want to come out and volunteer. That's it, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have the City Attorney report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just want to wish everybody, of course, a happy holiday season, but I do want to bring some things to your attention that I think you all should be aware of, and that is the state oversight issue is no small thing. And so when you start having the state come in, and particularly with no information and looking for things, whatever they can find, that's kind of a big deal, right? Because in this case, when, you know, no documents were requested, nothing was done. You know, I watch, and I know this is political season, so I don't take it, you know, I'm a big girl, but I don't take it so hard. But when people come up and they just say any kind of thing like, you know, the city attorney should be doing, I don't deal with your finances. But what I can tell you is that you don't have, you know, just corrupt people working in your systems. You really don't. And I guess I'm particularly sensitive to, you know, that issue because I know the historical nature in terms of slavery and those kind of things and how those words are used and just the historical, and it just gets under my skin when I hear it. Especially for a, you know, African-American predominantly controlled commission. It's insulting, right? And so I don't know, and I just want to put it on the record for anybody
What
who,
are you
for
talking
anybody,
about?
for
Why
any.
you talking about slavery?
Hey, this is city manager, this is city attorney report.
This is my
Make a
report.
comment.
This is my report.
Oh,
So I want to put it on the
God.
record
Y'all-
for anybody who keeps saying this, including commissioners, that the city attorney must know something, and I don't even know what you're talking about, right? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Plead the
It's
fifth.
insulting,
Why are you looking at me? I never
Commissioner,
mentioned your name.
because you've been a part of it. It's insulting
of
when
do you have
commissioners or anyone else says maybe the city attorney knows about some corruption. There is no corruption that I'm aware of within the city, and so you have a very competent staff. They're doing the very best they can. They're probably, from what I see, shorthanded, honestly. They're running all around doing the very best they can to keep up with everything. And I don't even know of any other commissions or even managers that sit up and read full reports and line items. And I don't know why Rodney's doing it. I guess he's doing it for maybe for the people who are listening in to show transparency. But the level of detail that is available, that's given, is unusual, right? It's unusual. And I understand it's a small city and maybe people, have a lot of questions and think there's corruption. But this whole corruption thing, you guys should stop it. You should stop it because the state coming in and the state then wanting to look at your finances, it's a big deal because then if you're trying to push yourself to a point where you want the state to review everything and you can't even spend your own money, that's what they do with some cities, and particularly minority-run cities, right? And here, where you don't have evidence, of any corrupt activities going on or anything like that, it's just really ridiculous to put yourself in that position and to fester that through people who are in state offices for political reasons. And so, as your city attorney, I'm just going to let you know it's a big deal. And whether I'm sitting here another month from now, 3 months from now, I don't care. But I feel that for this particular night, I need to put it on the record because this is not something that's small. The state coming in, throwing around words like corruption, and it's not a small thing. It's all of you should have reputations that you care about. You should have reputations that you care about. And so to even be associated with something like that where people are throwing words around should concern everybody on this commission. And with that, have a Merry Christmas and everybody have a great New Year. Thank you, Mayor.
I'm gonna give you a standing ovation. Standing ovation. Very well, very well.
Now the audit's turned to a race game. That's unbelievable. You read through the race card out there.
Next on the agenda is future agenda items of the commission.
That was your legal
if
report? What
any.
about any legal cases that we got
Commissioner-
pending? It's a legal report. What's the legal report? We got pending cases. What's the status?
You talking out of turn.
Oh
though. I
my
mean, it's
God,
You haven't
Jesus,
even been
help
recognized.
us.
Future agenda items
How
of the
long will
commission,
we
if
have to
any.
do this?
Vice Mayor,
No, sir.
Commissioner Perez,
What was your
future
question?
agenda item, if any, that you want to suggest.
Why am I gonna suggest it? Y'all not gonna vote it, so I won't even waste my time.
Commissioner Bolden,
I would like to see us revisit, we had presentations from different Chamber of Commerce. I would like to see us kind of revisit that and move forward with, I know we talked about possibly all three, but I just want us to kind of move forward on that.
I'll second that.
okay. There's a motion and a second. Motion by Commissioner Bolden, second by Commissioner Gonzalez, that we revisit the Chamber's, call for questions. Hearing none, are you ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Bowden?
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Murphy?
Yes.
Commissioner Perez?
Yes.
Mayor Bab?
Yes. Motion passed by unanimous vote. Commissioner Gonzalez, anything?
Yes, sir. I just want to say, as a commission, as a full commission, I don't see why anybody would even question why they're doing an audit. I mean, if the state wants to do an audit, let them. Why would you want to argue and fight against it? Why would you get mad? If they want to do an audit, let them do an audit. You shouldn't have to question everything. You shouldn't have to question what the reasons are. I mean, they want to do an audit. Obviously, we're not doing our part or doing our audits. Okay, that's the reality. And then we have, everybody knows this election's right around the corner. And to play the race game once again during the elections, you like to play the race game. I Google searched you. You like to play the race game. Okay? Yeah, I read Brad about you.
Commissioner Gonzalez, I don't mean to cut you short.
I'm sorry, sir.
This
I'm sorry.
is future agenda
Yes.
items. You do have a section on there
Oh,
for
no, I'm
comments if
sorry.
you choose to
No, I'm
make a
sorry.
comment.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Okay. So we have that item for future agenda item. Next now is commissioner comments, and for the good of the order, Commissioner Gonzalez.
I'm sorry. I'd just like to wish everybody happy holidays, be safe, and I applaud all the youth that were here today playing football. That's very amazing that the kids get to experience that in life with their Super Bowl rings. I mean, we didn't have that back when we were little. So I want to congratulate every kid. I want to wish all the candidates who are running the best. I want to wish the ones who are rerunning the best. And I really wish the best for our city. Those who are in doubt that we're here for the best, that we're here for the wrong reasons, no. We're here for the city. We've been fighting for the city since day one. Since day one. And I really do want what's best for the city. I'm from Pahokee. I live in Pahokee. And I just wish everybody the best.
Thank you. Commissioner Bolden?
Well, like I said, I think, I think at some point, guys, you know, we're gonna have to commit to our duty to the city and to the citizens of Pahokee, our duty, which means that it's not about how you feel, it's about what needs to be done. And every time we come together in this commission meeting, not every time, but far too often, we don't show the level of professionalism. We don't show what we should to our people. I don't think we realize how much this costs us every time we do this. And that needs to stop. At some point, we have to commit to our duty and not just what we feel. Things are not gonna go your way at times, that's life. The pendulum swings, that's a part of life. And, you know, like Aaron said, it's what we project. It can cost us. It can cost us dearly. And if we really want to move forward, we're going to have to put these little personal things aside and handle the business of the city. Whether things go your way or don't, at that point, it really doesn't matter. It's about projecting the right image and the right type of stability that will inspire others to want to join in this and moving the city forward. And we've not done a good job of showing that. We all have emotions, but part of being an adult is having the ability to manage those and to not escalate situations for other people as well, them in terms of them emotionally. So it's something that I feel we definitely need to work on as individuals, search our own souls, do whatever we need to do, meditate, I don't know. But before we come in here, pray, do whatever you need to do. Just come in here and, you know, conduct ourselves like real leaders. And that's it for me.
Commissioner Perez?
Okay, Commissioner Bolden, what I have to say in regards to your comment, I've always told you you're a very eloquent speaker. You're sitting here, you're calm, you're quiet, and your way of speaking. But all you have to do is look at your page and see what you are about, because you're a total complete person. But here, because you know people are watching, you're so eloquent and you're for the city and we have to work together. And I will say something. The reason I ran and the reason I won with 65% of the votes is because I promised this community that I will do everything in my power, okay, to expose the corruption and to try to eliminate it any way that I could. And I feel like I have done that since I started here. I was fought 3 times because the people sitting up here previously went through a lot of trouble not to get me elected or to try to get me disqualified. I had to fight in courts. I'm not getting any benefit from doing this, but I feel like it's my duty. I love this community and the people in it, and I have to account for my years of service in this community, which none of you guys could compare to me. I've done it from my heart, and I've done it for the kids, for the next generation, because we owe it to them. You want to work together, then be transparent. Tell the truth and do what you got to do. You're fighting something that there's no way of stopping it. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. You stand here and there's no proof and there's no proof of there's no proof. When the state made its decision, it's because they had the proof that was necessary to come here. And they don't have all of it. They don't have all of it. And I am proud to say, I thank God that he used my ability to be part of it. Because those of you that have sat here for over 20 years, because yes, the managers have come and they have done whatever they wanted with the money. But you know who I blame? The commission that have sat here and that has allowed to happen. You have been here all these years, and this city has, instead of going forward, it has gone backwards. We have lost businesses, we have lost, all you gotta do is look at the city. So for you to sit up here and talk about working together and this and that, the city is not gonna, I'm not gonna be part of this. I'm not. I don't condone corruption, I don't. There's been misallocation of money. It's obvious. It's proven. Whether you want to, admit it or not, it doesn't matter to me. And for you, ma'am, you have been the city attorney for this city, and you have not looked out for the benefit of this community. You have looked out for the benefit of those sitting up here that have been doing the corruption and been part of the corruption, and therefore you are part of it too. You sat up here and you talked about Chandler Williamson, how his attorney was going to sue us when he had not even been gone for 2 weeks, okay? You never said, I don't want to hear from you. It's my time. It's my time. Oh, yeah, plead the fifth. You're good at pleading the fifth. But I will tell you this, okay? Your suggestion was that to pay him what we owed him, right? To pay him what he owed him. You never told the community that he had a contract that called for 30 days.
I did not do any such thing.
Okay, well, that's not what they said.
I did not say pay anything.
That's not up to me. That's not up to me.
So stop lying on me.
It's being investigated. It's being investigated. It's being investigated. Everything's being investigated. I haven't taken my time up here for 3 years just to let you all get away with everything that you've done. I have not. I have not. And if it didn't bother you, you wouldn't be irritated. I know I'm getting to you. Yes, okay. Like you haven't been investigated. No, everybody should believe me because I sit up here and tell the truth. I have no reason to lie. I sit up here because I want to do this. I want to do it from in here. Not to get a title, not to get my picture on Facebook or any other reason. I'm sitting up here because I'm fighting this. Because this community, these people deserve it. That's why I'm doing it. And I like to thank that all the coaches, because the coaches that are coaching now are coaches that have played for this recreation department since the age of 8. And I congratulate him for coming back and giving back to the community and being part of the community. Like Carlos Lamas, because his daddy did that for years and years and years. Years and years and years. And those coaches, they give up the time from their family and their kids to come up here and be not only a coach, but a father figure to the kids. And for them is that I do this. Whether you want to say it that it's political or not political, I have been doing this. It doesn't matter how long of the speech. Are you gonna time me on my commissioner comments too? Because you guys sit up here and talk for 2 hours, but when I'm talking, you cut me off because you don't want me to tell everybody the truth. Go ahead, keep it up. It's gonna be over soon, very soon. As God is my witness.
Thank you for your comment. Commissioner Vice Mayor Mervin.
Mayor Bab, I have a letter first that I would like to read into record, if it's okay. The letter is coming from the Office of the State Attorney, David Amberg, State Attorney, dated December 12, 2023. It's coming from the investigative report from Detective, I have my glasses on, Justice Reed. And it states, in August of 2021, August of 2021, the Palm Beach County Office of State Attorney Public Corruption Unit received multiple allegations of political fraud involving current and former City of Pahokee city officials. Most of these complaints came in from the form of phone calls, meetings, and emails. The complaints stemmed from dozens of citizens, City of Pahokee citizens. The then acting City of Pahokee City Attorney, Gary Brandenburg, and the City of Pahokee City Commissioners, Sarah Perez, Regina Bolin, and Juan Gonzalez. Most of the allegations were violations of the City of Pahokee owned city's charter. Those allegations were civil matters to be handled by the court system. However, some of these allegations were criminal in nature. On 9/22/21, there was a meeting at the Federal Bureau of Investigation Office, FBI, located at 505 South Flagler Drive, City of West Palm Beach, Florida. In attendance of this meeting was concerned citizens, which he was not a citizen, Robert Lambert, City of Pahokee City Commissioner, Sarah Perez, Regina Bolin, and Juan Gonzalez.
I was not there.
FBI agent Ellen Thomas,
So if he said
and
that,
myself.
he's gonna get sued.
The purpose of this meeting was to collect documentation evidence that supported the allegation of criminal political fraud provided in this complaint. At the meeting, there was no documentation evidence provided to this office that would have led to any successful prosecution. During the course of this investigation, this office received numerous complaints from concerned citizens regarding criminal political fraud, none of which yielded any documentation evidence to support these allegations. On specific criminal allegations brought forward by the current city attorney, Gary Brandenburg, was the accusation of voting harvesting during a recent mayoral election. In February of 2022, Gary Brandenburg died unexpectedly prior to the completion of this investigation. In conclusion, there was a dozen of allegations regarding violation of the City of Pahokee own city charter. These allegations were civil in nature. During this investigation, there was no documentation or evidence to support any of the criminal allegation in this complaint. This case is closed. That coming from your state attorney, Dave Ehrenberg. And Mayor, on the note, we just got to do better up here as a commission. As you say, we have lost our brand for the City of Pahokee. We have no more relationship in the state that you can even call on. Look at this. What investor would want to even come? Thank you, Mr. Aaron Taylor, that you still want to come and be a part of the City of Pahokee. But if you look at it, I talked to some of the workers on Barfield. They was in the store, not knowing I was a commissioner. You know what they stated? They be glad when they get done with this road and they will never even apply to a bid in the city of Pahokee. That's bad. That's bad. So, you know, we got to do better. We got to do better. But as an attorney, thank you for your comments, because there's no fraud in the city of Pahokee. These staff come to work every single day, work tirelessly every single day. Do you honestly think they coming to try to fraud the city of Pahokee? They come to do work for the city of Pahokee, and this is what their leaders is telling them, that they're committing fraud. So you telling our staff every day that they come here to steal from the city. They say the commission, which we don't touch money whatsoever, don't write checks, don't have credit card in our possession. So how they say we're stealing the city's money, I have no idea.
You pass
We talk about Sarah
resolutions.
Perez, she the main one sits here. And yeah, she might be sitting up here, but I'm gonna state this, but every single time she sits here, she's committed a fraud. You know why? Because she doesn't even live in the city of Pahokee that she represents. So if that's not fraud, and she collects a payment every month. So you say you want to take care of the city budget, city monies, there it is. That's fraud. Have a good night.
Take me
Merry
to court.
Christmas.
Take me to court for the third time. Take me to court for the third time.
I entertain a motion for the adjournment.
Mervin, you said
Everybody
that
move
I
to
was at the
adjourn the meeting?
FBI for fraud. That report
Is there a
of fraud.
second?
I'd like to get a
Yes,
copy of
there's
that
a
email.
second,
I'd like to
Been
see that
moved by
email.
Commissioner
Why-
Bolden,
how did
second
you
by
get that
Vice Mayor
letter? Why
Mervin
didn't
to
we
adjourn the
get the
meeting.
letter?
Call
That's
for
not why
question,
Why
hearing
didn't we
none,
get
roll
that
That's
call,
not why I
Madam
was there.
Clerk.
Trust me, it
Commissioner
wasn't- that
Bolden?
wasn't why I
Yes.
was there.
Vice
Trust
Mayor
me on that.
Mervin,
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez,
Yes.
Commissioner Perez,
Yes.
Mayor Bab.
Yes, meeting adjourned.